All right, good evening. We'll go ahead and get this started. So everybody who thought we were going to be in the new building, psych, we're not. Design flaw, dais is too close to the wall. Can't get behind the chairs over there, so they're just going to move that out. We only have like 2 meetings really between, maybe 3 between now and January 12th, which is our new target date, but we're not going to tell anybody that in case we got to move it again. Just kidding. So we, first thing is the approval of the agenda. Request a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved. Second.
Motion has been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on the agenda? Any from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, unanimous. And I'm going to invite Mr. Gary Bracewell, the lead pastor from Christian Life Fellowship, to do our invocation tonight, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And please remain standing for both if you can. Pastor?
Let's pray. Father, thank you for all that you have done for us, Lord. This is a week of Thanksgiving and a season of Thanksgiving. And we want to honor you and remember you and be grateful. Lord, I'm reminded of the 10 men that you healed, and only one came back and said, thank you. And Jesus said, where are the other 9? Lord, I want to be like that one and come back to you tonight and say thank you. Thank you for giving us the freedom to serve you, for giving us the freedom to live life in a way that fulfills your desire and our desires. Lord, to please you. I'm thankful for our community, thankful for this city. I'm thankful, Lord, for those men and women who have put their lives on the line to provide these freedoms for us. So, Lord, we just pause and say thank you. We're grateful to you for all you have done and for who you are. And, Lord, we just invite you tonight and welcome you into this place. And may we have attitudes of gratitude throughout this evening, we pray. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Mr. Clark.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Pastor, I want to thank you on behalf of the City Commission and the city at large for everything that your church does. You had a fantastic event for our community last night, and I'm going to put you on the spot. You want to come back up to the podium, and I'd love you to share some statistics of your great event yesterday.
Yeah, 12 years ago, we just felt led to create an event called Thanksgiving in the Park and utilize Lois Fort Park. I think at that time it was Triangle Park.
Yep.
But we just wanted to give a gift back to the citizens, the community, especially for those who felt the need. And so we have an outdoor worship service followed by a full cooked Thanksgiving dinner with turkey and all the fixins. Yesterday we served a little over 300 meals there in the park after the service. And then another thing that we do is we provide a full meal to take home. The groceries required for a holiday meal, all the fixins, including a whole turkey. And we gave away about 100 grocery bags and turkeys yesterday. And it was well received. It was very well received. You know, there's some uncertainty with food in some households these days, and we were just glad to be there.
Yep.
And it was a great day. And we had about 70 volunteers to help put it together. And just an awesome day. I want to thank the city for all your support, especially the Parks and Rec and Public Works. They go out of their way to make it happen, and we are so grateful for that. Everything was there, even a guy there at 7:30 in the morning cleaning up trash and giving us extra trash bags. And I was like, wow.
Super.
So it was amazing. So thank you, city, for making that possible.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you do everything you do. All right, we've got a couple of presentations on deck here, and I will do a couple of proclamations after that. First one we have is recognizing Watson Construction. Rance, I believe you're taking this one. All right, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commission. Tonight, I'd like to take a moment to recognize Watkins Construction for their exceptional work on Southwest 15th Avenue project. This was originally slated to be an 18-month project, but through strong coordination, long hours, and commitment to our community, Watson completed in just 6.5 months. They worked closely with city staff through various challenges, from engineering adjustments to unexpected pipe conflicts, while maintaining quality, staying on budget, and keeping the project moving forward. Their efforts not only improved roadway conditions and added sidewalks, but also created new parking and dedicated turn lane for the elementary school, making the area safer and more accessible for students. On behalf of the City of Newberry, I want to sincerely thank Watson Construction for going above and beyond to deliver this project ahead of schedule and for their continuing partnership in serving our community.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's good.
Yeah, yes. I think you got a couple slides for us too, right? No?
Don't have any
Okay.
slides. No.
Okay, no worries, okay. Well, let me read this proclamation. Do we have anybody from Watson Construction here? Well, come on up to the podium, sir. This is where we get to lavish appreciation on you. So whereas the City of Newberry places great value on quality infrastructure that enhances safety, accessibility, and connectivity for all of our residents, and whereas Watson Construction was awarded the Southwest 15th Avenue Improvement Project, a complex and time-sensitive endeavor originally slated for completion in 18 months, and whereas through extraordinary commitment, professionalism, and teamwork, Watson Construction completed the project in just 6 months. Woo! Well ahead of schedule while maintaining the highest standards of workmanship and safety. And whereas Watson Construction's crew consistently went above and beyond, working late afternoons and weekends to ensure timely completion and minimize disruption to the community. And whereas the Southwest 15th Avenue project greatly enhanced the area's infrastructure by improving roadway conditions, expanding pedestrian connectivity through new sidewalks, and incorporating additional parking, and a dedicated turn lane serving the elementary school, significantly improving traffic flow and student safety. And whereas the completion of this project demonstrates Watson Construction's dedication to the city's vision for a safe, more connected community. And whereas the City of Newberry recognizes that this achievement reflects not only technical skill, but also a dedication to partnership, efficiency, and community service. Now therefore be it resolved that by the virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the City of Newberry, I do hereby express our deepest appreciation to Watson Construction for their outstanding performance and dedication in completing the Southwest 15th Avenue project ahead of schedule, exemplifying excellence in the service to our community, in witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and cause the great seal of the City of Newberry, Florida, to be affixed unto this 24th day of November in the year 2025. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll have something a little more official that you guys can hang on the wall.
Awesome.
Or make you stand for a picture. Okay. This is the embarrassment part.
We should take the Post-it notes on.
They're so pretty.
I'll hide it.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
See, problem solver today.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a lot of feedback there.
Hot
That's
mic.
really loud.
We can hear you.
I just wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you to Watson as well. Sometimes our residents have really good ideas. They have really good suggestions. Sometimes those ideas and suggestions aren't quite delivered in the most diplomatic manner. But Watson rolled with it, whether it was a nice, hey, can we do this, or, delivered in a different format. They were very, very responsive, and, for all the frustration that our residents experienced for 6 months, imagine if that had to be 18 months. So my hat's off to them. They did a fantastic job, and I will forever be grateful, because every time I had to call and say, hey, can we get this sidewalk done a little bit quicker, they were always, okay, we'll figure it out. So.
We can be a reference for you guys on the next project. Anything you wanted to share?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Please do. You got to come up.
Rance and the whole Newberry team.
You got to say it in the mic.
if it wasn't for everybody in Newberry, we had a lot of challenges and we all kind of worked together and got answers quickly and stuff like that. So it wasn't just watching, it was kind of a team effort on that. So I do appreciate that.
Glad to hear it, glad to hear it. Fantastic. Anything else there? All right. Your reward is not having to stay for the rest of the meeting. All right, Christmas events, overview and proclamation as well. Miss Crystal, I believe you're carrying this one. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Hello. Hi, beautiful people. My name is Crystal Rushing, and you may know me as the Community Engagement Coordinator for the City of Newberry. But today, I'm an elf. I come straight from the North Pole. Santa sent me. Yes, he did. And today we're talking about Weekends of Wonder here in the Christmas capital of Alachua County. I have a beautiful presentation, if that would like to come up. Got it. Thank you. Newberry, where Christmas feels like home. We're going to take a look at the month of December. As I mentioned, these weekends will be called the Weekends of Wonder. We literally have something going on every weekend in December, guys. First, we're looking at our Christmas tree lighting ceremony. This is what kicks off our Weekends of Wonder. So here in the Christmas capital of Alachua County, we'll start our tree lighting on December 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. with vendors, hot cocoa, pictures with Santa, a petting zoo, and the best part, we have a skating rink coming. Did you hear that? A skating rink. Yeah. For the kids, for the families, with skates and everything included. It's going to be a blast. On the same day, we have the Christmas market happening over at Barry Park. This is hosted by the Newberry Main Street Organization. This is going on basically all day from 2 to 8:30. Again, with market vendors, live music, food trucks, snow for the kiddos, and even ponies. The Firehouse Gallery will also be hosting something. I'm not sure what yet, but last year they had a puppet show and it was pretty cool. Then the next weekend, the Newberry Area Chamber of Commerce is joining us for Weekends of Wonder with a movie on the lawn. We'll be watching the Polar Express with hot cocoa and popcorn and our big old giant blow-up screen. And right before that, we'll have cookie decorating. Then the next weekend, the last weekend right before Christmas, our Newberry elf, he may or may not be in the room right now. The Newberry elf is going to have a big give. That's right. He's giving away everything. Maybe even his elf outfit. Okay, I didn't say that. So December 20th from 4 to 7, we are going to have a big give.
Head down.
We're giving away toys, we're giving away bikes, electronics, and we're even giving away food and free clothing as well. Our goal is to just give big, right?
Give big.
And this will be off of Seaboard Drive in the parking area behind the doctor's office. The same day, again, we'll have the Nana's Gingerbread House competition and Snowy Block Party. That will be in the municipal building and at Barry Park. So there's something happening literally all in downtown Main Street, Newberry. The Snowy Block Party is hosted by the Newberry Main Street Org, and it's basically just like music, fun, snow, again, coffee and cocoa. And in the municipal building, we encourage the community to enter their gingerbread houses for the competition. And I think the prize is $100, just saying. And then the chamber is going to kick off our parade festivities. We're going to meet at the bus loop for our Anything But a Car contest. Yeah. I want to see bikes. I want to see lawnmowers. I want to see golf carts. I want to see all the things, okay? December 20th at 4 p.m., and this is going to mimic the homecoming parade loop. So we'll start at the NHS bus loop, and we'll travel from there. Anyone who is in the Anything But a Car contest with the Newberry Chamber will also join in the parade as like one giant float. So you'll see bikes and golf carts and lawnmowers all in the parade as well. And there is a form for this online if there are any businesses that want to join. And you don't have to be a business either. If you just want to bring your golf cart out, come on down. And last but not least, we finish off with our annual Christmas parade. The Newberry Main Street Org is hosting this, and it will start at 5:30 with lineup beginning at 4 at the NHS bus loop, as I mentioned before. You can sign up online on their website, and they also need volunteers. And last but not least, we're open for sponsorships. We would love for businesses, local nonprofits, or any professionals that would like to have a piece of the fun. We're looking for entertainment sponsors. We're looking for sponsors that'll provide food. We're looking for sponsors to, of course, provide gifts as well. So we're open to all the things. I mean, wouldn't it be cool to have your logo right there, front and center in the skating rink while everyone's going around spinning in circles? Just saying. So sponsorships are welcomed. And then, of course, we have our resources. So our website is mostly up to date, ChristmasCapitalofAlachaCounty.com. We also have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, so you can follow us there. And, of course, our website, which I keep the calendar updated with all the things. Thank you.
Crystal, you're pretty good at this, and you probably should consider doing this for a living. Just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, proclamation of the City of Newberry, Florida, where Christmas feels like home. Whereas Newberry has a longstanding tradition of celebrating the holiday season with warmth, community spirit, and the events bringing families and neighbors together, and whereas the City of Newberry hosts a variety of seasonal traditions, including a community tree lighting, a holiday market, a parade, musical performances, downtown festivals that showcase Newberry's small-town charm and welcoming character, and whereas Newberry's seasonal programming and community participation celebrate the best of the holidays and reflect our shared commitment to love thy neighbor, and whereas the initiative and volunteer spirit evident in each year in planning, decorating, and hosting holiday events have helped Newberry earn recognition as the Christmas capital of Alachua County. And whereas the City of Newberry wishes to invite all residents and visitors to join in our weekends of wonder and experience the many family-friendly holiday events taking place throughout the season. And now, therefore, I, Timothy Martin, Mayor of City of Newberry, by the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim Newberry as the Christmas capital of Alachua County. Be it further proclaimed that the citizens of Newberry and visitors are warmly invited to experience the sense of welcome and tradition that make our community a special place where Christmas feels like home, and witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Newberry to be affixed this 24th day of November 2025. Woo-hoo. What's that?
Mr. Mayor, just one more addition to this. Of course, they never need much from the City of Newberry, but the town center is having the Christmas on the Square on the 20th after the parade as well. So that, as far as we know, is also still happening. So the Weekends of Wonder, they just keep going.
Keep coming. Fantastic. Very, very good. And Crystal, you have some cards, right? I assume there's more back on the thing?
Anyone wants to take a little wrap card, it has all the information on the event.
And I just posted it on my Mayor Facebook page also. So, all right, that brings us to public announcements, 2 minutes, non-controversial stuff. Anybody from the community have something they want to make us aware of? Going once, going twice, rants, you have the floor.
Good afternoon again. I would like to take a moment and formally recognize two of our employees. We had Sean Smith and Ryan Murphy. They were on the way to a work order there, and they noticed a vehicle sitting in a turn lane with flashers and stuff on. So they pulled over and was going to help the young lady out. Noticed that she was having a medical emergency. They got in her vehicle. They was able to get in. They called 911 immediately, and they got there. They stayed with her through the whole entire process. They were unable to make it here tonight, but the city manager and myself are going to give them a Superior Service coin for their efforts. And I just wanted to let everyone know that we have a great group of guys down there that are working and keeping eyes out.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you for sharing and pass along our appreciation to them as well, Rance. Next.
Hi there, Jonathan Ramsey, or JR, as most people know me. I think I came probably about a month or so to pester you guys then, but I am one of your Alachua County judges, and I'm back. Sorry, I'm trying to make the rounds, but you're the same night as Alachua, and I think even Micanopy had one, so it's been a little congested, but to just give you guys a little bit of an update on the judiciary, you guys may not know that we are actually have an opening for a circuit judge position, and we've actually been operating down one county judge for the last 3 or 4 months at this time. But we're finally making some progress on that. The applications have a period for those 2 positions has passed. There are 5 applicants for the circuit position. I'm one of them, so fingers crossed on that. But there are also 6 applicants for the county position. I think local interviews will probably be next week. I don't think that's been set in stone, but if I was a guessing man, that's what I would think. And then hopefully the governor will appoint someone into January or beginning of February. So we should finally be back up to full strength, hopefully by the end of January, beginning of February. Looking forward to it. As someone who is kind of pulling double duty and covering multiple divisions, I'm very much looking forward to that. I think last time I was here, I left some business cards. I don't think anyone gave any calls, and that's perfectly fine. But I am here just trying to introduce the judiciary. I know there's kind of a cloak or a wall or a curtain where people don't really know who we are at all, and I think people get scared of the judges, but we're just normal people. I think last time I told a little bit about my family. I'll just tell a little bit about me in my remaining few seconds. When I graduated with my master's and I had a choice of law schools to go to, I chose UF. When I graduated law school, I had a choice of what state attorney I went to work for as an assistant state attorney, and I chose Gainesville. I've had many job opportunities along the line, and I've always chose to stay in Alachua County because I think there truly is something special about this county, and I think all of you can feel that as well. So I'm trying to go to these meetings and get to know you guys. Happy to talk to you guys afterwards when we're done too. Thank you for my time.
Thank you. Perfect. Anyone else? Going once. Mr. Dallas?
I don't have a change of clothes to start mine with.
It's a high bar. It's a very high bar.
I just want to take a minute. As you are all aware, this morning we moved into our new city hall, and we wanted to recognize our first customer that came to pay their utility bill at New City Hall. So we have the great privilege of recognizing our first customer this morning with a cookie cake that was, I don't know, about yay big. And we also waived her utility bill for her as a thank you. It worked out really well as a customer who was in need of assistance, and she shed a few tears of joy, and it really meant a lot to her, but it was a really special way for us to break in our new city hall and recognize our customer. So I just wanted to share that with the commission. There's a picture of the customer with her giant cookie cake and balloons on our Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. A little pre-Christmas present for her. Going once, going twice. Back to the commission. Next item is the consent agenda. Is there any motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Mazon, a second from Commissioner Clark. Is there, I'm sorry, thinking of something else. All those in favor of passing the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. The ayes have it, passes unanimous. Public hearings and ordinances. Item number 10, fiscal year 2025 final budget amendment. Miss Amanda, I believe you have this one. Welcome, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Commissioners. My name is Amanda Hagan, and I serve as your Assistant Director of Finance and Administration. As you are aware, the Finance Department conducts an end-of-year review of actual receipts and expenditures for each fund and department. This review is part of our standard year-end procedures and is intended to identify any budget or expenditure variances that require correction. Based on this review, staff recommends approval of Resolution 2025-65, amending the final budget. As part of the process, the Finance Department has determined that it is necessary to reallocate previously appropriated funds to correct several budget variances. Florida statutes allows for a budget amendment within 60 days of the close of the fiscal year. There is nothing major to report in this amendment. Overall, the city ended the year under budget. A final report of the city's financial activity will be provided once year-end processes are complete and the audit has been concluded. The majority of the budget amendments presented tonight ratify transfers that the city manager made under his authorized budgeting authority. The next slide provides a visual summary of the general fund's final budget to actual results with Resolution 2025-65 incorporated. The blue bars represents the final budget, while the orange bars represents actual expenditures. And as you can see, the city will finish fiscal year 2025 under budget.
Good job.
Good job, good job, good job. All right.
Next, I'll provide a high-level overview of the recommended amendments. For the general fund, revenue is recommended to increase due to a transfer in associated with the ARPA fund closeout. Expenditures are recommended to increase primarily for debris monitoring costs related from Hurricane Helene, higher solid waste collection costs, and the purchase of land for a stormwater basin. No amendment is recommended for the Capital Projects Fund, and as Dallas mentioned, today was our first day in our new City Hall building, and the construction costs continue to remain on budget.
Nice.
For the special revenue funds, revenue increases are recommended for discretionary sales surtax and residential transportation impact fees. Expenditure increases are recommended for transfers out to the general fund related to the ARPA fund closeout. For the utility funds, a correction to a prior budget amendment is needed, as well as an expenditure increase due to a higher purchased power cost. And then finally, for the internal service funds, no budget amendment is being recommended. In conclusion, staff recommends approval of Resolution 2025-65, amending the final budget. And Mr. Mayor, this completes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Amanda. Before we go to questions, do we have a resolution to read in, Mr. Attorney? 2565?
Yes, sir. This is Resolution Number 2025-65, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Newberry, Florida, adopting the final amendments to the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget, providing for severability, conflicts, and effective date. The appropriate motion is to pass Resolution Number 2025-65 as read by title only.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Is there any questions or comments from the dais?
Good job, staff.
Yeah.
Good job, good job.
Phenomenal. Under budget.
Absolutely. Any comment or question from the audience? Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution? Commissioner Clark and Commissioner Mazon. Any further discussion? Hearing none, no more from the public. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, unanimous. Thank you, Ms. Amanda. Smyrna Ready Mix Concrete Batch Plant Special Use Permit. This is a quasi-judicial. So all the participating parties, get ready for this little change. So we are entering a quasi-judicial procedure. This means that the commission will stop being a legislative body and will become a judicial board, which means that we have to follow certain rules and adhere to different standards of decision-making. The primary rule we must follow concerns testimony, and the substantial and competent evidence standard must be met when the judicial board makes a decision. This standard states the following, quote, all public testimony will be taken under oath. Everyone testifying will be subject to cross-examination. All documents and exhibits shall be entered into evidence. The giving of opinion testimony is limited to experts. Closing arguments will be limited to the evidence of record, end quote. So now I'm going to ask the city attorney to read into the record the ordinance or resolution by title and number.
Mr. Mayor, this is a resolution, and it's resolution number 2025-55, SUP 25-02, a resolution of the City of Newberry, Florida, granting a special use permit for a concrete batch plant within the material-oriented industrial future land use category and industrial I zoning district on a site consisting of 9.6 contiguous acres, more or less, on certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida. The tax parcel number is 01897-004-000, more particularly described in the Exhibit A attached to the resolution, providing severability, providing for a repealer, and providing an effective date. The appropriate motion is to pass resolution number 2025-55 as read by title only.
Thank you, sir. And at this point, I'm going to ask the clerk to swear in the applicant, staff, and all participants requesting to speak, and they may be collectively sworn in at this time. Madam Clerk?
Please raise your right hand and state your name. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. You can do this one.
Fantastic. Before we begin, we're going to disclose any ex parte communications and disclose whether any member physically inspected the property. Ex parte communications are any conversations or transmission of information that may have bearing or influence on any voting member's decision. And we'll begin disclosures from my immediate right. Commissioner Mazon?
I've driven by the property and seen it, but I'm fine.
Okay. Commissioner Farnsworth, Commissioner Clark, Commissioner Coleman, thank you. And I do not have any myself. I'll now explain the order of the presentations that we will follow for every quasi-judicial item before us tonight. The presentation order is staff overview, applicant presentation, staff report and recommendation, third-party intervener, of which there are none. Public comments will be taken 3 minutes. The applicant may cross-examine, party interveners may cross-examine, staff may cross-examine. Then the members of the decision-making body, through the chair, may ask questions of the staff, applicant, and participants. Final argument may be made by any of the parties related solely to the evidence and testimony presented at the hearing and introduced into the record. City attorney will then advise the decision-making body of the applicable law and the factual findings that must be made to approve or deny the application. Deliberation of the application, after the deliberations, a vote shall be taken to approve with conditions, continue, or deny the application. Jean Paul, I take it you're handling this one.
I am. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You have the floor.
Thank you. For the record, John Paul Perez with the Community Development Department. The request before the board tonight is the special use permit for the Smyrna Ready Mix Concrete Batch Plant. This was heard by the Planning and Zoning Board on November 3rd. The board recommended adoption of the resolution and added a condition, in addition to staff's conditions, that the sound levels will maintained within the limits allowed by the city. So no extra noise permitted for these folks. The motion is to approve with conditions, continue or deny the resolution granting the special use permit. Following the special use permit is the site and development plan. This will come back to the Board of Adjustment one more time. So you folks sitting up here will see it once more. The applicant is Dirt on Demand, LLC. They're doing business as Civil on Demand for engineering on the project. The owner is Laura J. Prees. The operator of the batch plant will be Smyrna Ready Mix Concrete, and located in the appropriate zoning of Industrial I, as well as the appropriate future land use, material-oriented industrial. The address of the property is 710 Northwest County Road 235. Though it is addressed to County Road 235, it will not have access to County Road 235. I understand it's overgrown and impassable at this point, and all traffic will come onto Northwest 9th Place. I'll show you an aerial of the property shortly. 9.6 acres, and again, the request is to establish a concrete batch plant. Here's an aerial image showing the subject property being in the black and white outline, adjacent and connecting to 41 Commerce Park. One of the things that the Planning and Zoning Board focused on was its proximity to some residential in the area. We had actually the person that was living on the parcel south of this come and speak and to the current operation of Watson's batch plant and asphalt plant there just west of this, and he noted that there wasn't much noise. That was just some testimony that was given at that meeting. Here's a image showing the current condition of the property. Currently there's a mobile home on it, as well as some accessories to that mobile home. This is the proposed plan that will be implemented. Again, it'll come back before the commission as the Board of Adjustment. trucks coming in from Northwest 9th Place, getting filled up, washed off, and then heading out of the site. There's some storage on the site for the vehicles, as well as the aggregate. They're adjacent to the rail. That's something that they're looking at seriously. They are looking for partnership with that, though. And here's the site plan overlaid on the site. The staff recommended conditions are listed on the screen. Would the board like me to go through these one by one? Are you comfortable moving on? All right. And that completes my presentation. The applicant's here to answer any technical questions you may have. They don't have a presentation for you this evening, but that's all I got. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. And just to confirm, the applicant does not have a presentation, just need to hear them say that? Okay. And I assume you don't have anything else to add to your overview? Your overview will stand as the report, the recommendation is in the record. At this time, I'll move for any public comment. You'll have 3 minutes for any comment. Seeing none. And I assume Smyrna and Dirt on Demand has no cross-examination of the staff, correct? No. Okay, fantastic. Members of the decision-making body, do you have any questions of any of the party participants at this time? Okay.
So just to clarify, I mean, we went through this same, the gentleman that was here prior give us a great review of this, what it was going to do, what it was going to do to help the city, and it looks like nothing has changed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I mean, it really looks like a high-speed, low-drag
Yes.
operation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Very, so much different from what's there now currently outside the plant. This is a $3.5 million investment just into the plant itself. High tech, top of the line. There's no, dust doesn't leave the site. Of course, we don't drag any water or anything else like that. We lose nothing on the site.
Yeah,
So.
well, like I said, the comment was just, or the, whatever, is just saying that from what you are to what this is going to be is.
Night and day.
Night and day.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And that's like a 1970s batch plant that's there now.
Is it really?
It is. It's not efficient. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
This is, of course, what we're putting around the entire country now, so.
Okay. Well, we welcome you to the community.
Well, we are excited.
We will get you there.
We really want to thank your staff. They've been amazing working with us on this entire project. Of course, council's been amazing as well. I was asked earlier I do this all over the country, and I told them that this is probably the best city that we've worked with so far. So
You tell
guys could
everybody
really
that.
Yeah. I wish it was all this great, so appreciate all you guys and all your attention. It will be, and it's going to be great for the community, and we look forward to, we've been here for a while, but we look forward to growing with the community, so. Okay, if you have
Thank
any
you.
other questions?
Mr. Coleman?
I got one thing.
Okay.
Can you get rid of the backup beepers?
Can't get rid of the backup
Because
beepers.
there's
That's
just north
OSHA.
of you there, northwest is that big old subdivision.
Yeah, and they hadn't gotten there yet. We have done away with the, there was a horn that blew when we loaded, so we went to a red light, green light system on that, especially for you guys here in Newberry, to getting down any of the sound. It will be a lot less loud than what you have right now because we're hidden behind the trees, and we're also going to put some more screening buffer in there as well. So where we're at now, out in the open field that's right next to the subdivision, that will all be put behind the trees now. You won't even see us back there, and hopefully the sound will be deadened by that as well.
I sure hope so, because you know who they call?
You. Commissioner Coleman.
Any other discussions or questions? Yes, sir. Commissioner Farnsworth?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how much traffic is that going to cause on Ninth Place?
Well, we only run 4 or 5 trucks out of there at a time, so they carry about 5 loads a day, so that's about 25 vehicles that's going to be coming in there. We do have aggregate that comes in, but we are looking to bring that in on the rail. We're working with CSX right now to see if we can get that rail open and get a spur in there. That's another $1.5 million investment when we do the spur. The whole entire site's going to be about a $14 to $15 million investment in the community, along with now adding some more jobs and things as we're now being able to produce more concrete. So that's also something that will help the community as well. But being able to use that rail is a big deal to us. So we can just rail that stuff in, keep bigger trucks off the road. So that hopefully helps.
Yeah, I believe there was some discussion about running the road down by the railroad tracks, is that,
No, that's the one that's just overgrown and really cannot be used there.
so all the traffic's gonna be on Ninth, which,
It'll come out into the industrial park.
and does planning know if that road will be able to handle that,
Mr. Mayor,
that amount of traffic?
the industrial park, the industrial park is sitting at about 60% capacity. Most of those lots back there, might even be 50% capacity. So the industrial park is well under its traffic count.
And I can also attest that it was discussed at planning and zoning, because I chair that also. But yeah. And they're currently located over on the Watson site, so it's really just kind of relocating from where it is on the Watson site, east over to the Price property.
Right.
So there's not really a net change in the traffic overall,
None,
right?
None.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Did you have, you're the only one left. Okay. All right, and no final argument, pitch or anything like that? Sounds like you're good
It's
there.
up to you guys now, so.
Okay, all right. Mr. Attorney, I think we're down to you, just advising the decision-making body of the applicable law and factual findings.
Substantial and competent evidence, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. And would somebody like to make a motion at this time?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Clark has a motion, Commissioner Coleman has a second. Any further discussion from the board? Hearing none. We'll start with a roll call vote. Commissioner Coleman?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Commissioner Farnsworth?
Aye.
Commissioner Maison?
No.
Okay. The ayes have it, 3-1. All right, I think we go back to legislative. Hold on, I got like 4 different piles of paper up here I'm juggling. Item number 12, interim zoning ordinance regarding subdivision. Is that where we are?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Okay, Mr. Attorney, you look like you have something to read here, right?
I do. This is ordinance number 2025-72, LDR 25-33, an interim zoning ordinance of the City of Newberry, Florida, amending portions of Appendix B, Article 5 of the City of Newberry Code of Ordinances related to subdivisions to provide relief for certain subdivision and street standards, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing an effective date. The appropriate motion is passed. Ordinance number 2025-72 upon its reading by title only.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Jean-Paul, you've got the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Commissioner Clark wasn't here last time. For your purposes, do you want me to go through the presentation?
Yes, sir, please.
All right, will do. So the ordinance before the board tonight is an interim zoning ordinance. An interim zoning ordinance is a method to stress test regulations. So these aren't going to be permanently adopted and still need to be permanently adopted, but for the time being, we're adopting some temporary regulations. So that's what we're doing here tonight. It's good for 12 months, and if the commission wants to continue it, they can continue it by resolution. If they want to stop it, they can stop it immediately by resolution. Doesn't require another ordinance to end this particular ordinance, okay? This was heard by the Planning and Zoning Board on November 3rd. They recommended adoption. We had our first reading of the ordinance on November 10th. There was some discussion. That discussion led to a 3-1 vote. That discussion focused on the number of lots or aspects around the lots and the road standards. In this particular ordinance, there's a proposed all-weather road for 5-acre subdivisions that contain 9 or fewer lots. So this would be strictly in the agricultural area.
You might want to explain an all-weather road, because you got into detail with us on that. He's got some slides.
Yeah.
You're talking chip seal, lime rock, gravel.
All-weather road
whatever.
just means it's passable on wet or dry conditions, and any other storm event. It just needs to be passable by an emergency vehicle and the people that use that road. The most intense of those would be a very heavy first responder vehicle going out there for an ambulance call or something to that effect. or God forbid, a fire, you know. So I'm going to go through some of the changes that are in the ordinance, and then we'll get into the discussion items that the commission got into on November 10th. We are removing an exemption for 5-acre subdivisions from platting. So the way, this is a regulation that's snuck into the definition of a subdivision, and it says 5-acre subdivisions are exempt from platting requirements. Unfortunately, that directly conflicts with Florida statute, and it's not necessarily the size of the parcel, but the number of splits that occur that determine whether a plat is required or not in the state of Florida. And so we're just making the code consistent with Florida statute by removing that exemption. Senate Bill 784 was passed earlier this year by the Florida Congress, and what that did was require local governments to adopt final plats by administrative procedure. So they no longer require a public hearing for final plats. So that'll just be submitted to staff, be reviewed by staff and our consultant surveyor. And then once that's determined to be consistent with city code and Florida statute, we can then issue a letter approving it, and then they can record the Mylar in the county clerk's office without having to have a separate public hearing for it. So that saves some time on the applicant's end as they're moving through these. We deleted a restriction requiring subdivisions within 1 mile of the water and wastewater area. Believe we've crossed that precipice and have subdivisions that are more than 1 mile outside. These include things like our planned rural residential developments, such as Dillon's Grove, Half Moon Bay, Station, sorry. And there's a few other ones out there that are more than a mile outside of our water service area that wouldn't necessarily satisfy this requirement, but the city commission has said in the past that's acceptable. So we're just aligning that there. Section line roads is something that has come up in conversation before, and so with this interim zoning ordinance, we're saying section line roads may be reduced by the city commission, provided that that road section is not a necessary regional road connection, and not making it 20 feet wider would not negatively impact public interest. Right now, our code requires an 80-foot road section. I believe we're interested in reducing that down to 60 where it's appropriate, because not every road will need to be a 4-lane in the future. 80 will allow for a 4-lane, a 60 will only allow for a 2-lane. Subdivision, I included this slide in here, but I can skip over it, but city regulates them, the state regulates them. They are a legally binding map of a property showing how it's being subdivided and what uses will be going where. So we'll have tracks for conservation on there, we'll have easements for utilities, alleys, and roads, as well as the boundary and those individual lots that a developer or an owner is looking to build on. So getting into the items that we were discussing last time, right before the presentation on this ordinance, we had a plat come before the commission. It was called Quarry Fields on Northwest 202nd Avenue, our street. And that subdivision was taking 40 lots, splitting it into 4 10-acre lots, and all lots were accessible off of 202 by driveway. In that particular instance, the only thing that was occurring was the division of the land, and there was no infrastructure that needed to be reviewed. Because it's 4 lots, it's considered a major subdivision. And a major subdivision has a different process than a minor subdivision. A minor subdivision is 3 or less lots that are being divided. And because it's a major subdivision, it was requiring, the code requires that they submit a preliminary plat, which will be an initial conceptual sketch of the subdivision of the land. It'll also include preliminary cross sections of the road and any sort of utilities going into the site. Because this particular Quarry Fields had no infrastructure. It was all driveway connections, which can be reviewed at permit only, without an issue.
Jean Paul? Sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't want to get too far. I wanted to point out that we're talking about subdividing a property. It's not a subdivision like a housing development.
Correct.
So just for viewers' sake, that's what we're talking about, just subdividing a parcel into smaller pieces, not a housing development.
Exactly, thank you, yeah. Because they had no infrastructure, there's not much to be reviewed on that preliminary plat besides the division of land. They would be spending money for no real gain. Major subdivisions also require construction plans. And again, construction plans are the civil set showing how that infrastructure is going to be designed and constructed on the property. In this particular case, again, there was no infrastructure to be constructed. There were just driveway connections. They sought a waiver from the requirements to do a preliminary plat and construction plans and proceed straight to final plat. That was granted, and this is us trying to recreate that in an administrative form that's acceptable to the commission. At least this first bullet point and the sub-bullet points, where some major subdivisions may be deemed minor subdivisions, meaning they only require a final plat. And that final plat will be reviewed by staff. And staff will be able to make that determination that, hey, there's no infrastructure, it's less than 10 lots, it's not in the urban service area, no utilities, and one of the zingers that we threw in there was no asphalt road required. It gave a bit of consternation to the commission, but we want to talk through that a little bit more as well. And so recreating those same conditions that existed for Quarry Fields, just for us to have a criteria to base that decision on an administrative level without having to involve the commission in making that decision. Subdivisions, moving on to the second point, subdivisions of 9 or fewer lots of 5, where the lots are 5 acres or greater, would only need to provide an all-weather road. And let me move ahead here. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I would suggest, because when we did this first reading, we had 2 commissioners who were good with this slide being included and 2 commissioners who had some further questions. So if we could pause for a second and get some feedback on this slide, are we good with the less than 10 number? Because at some point, what we need is, what is the trigger to go to a major subdivision and you have to pave the road and you have to do all the things, right? Under that number, we're good with these, with an all-weather road, right? Or we're good with, you guys tell us, but we need that kind of a feedback. Now that we have Commissioner Long's comments are on the record in first reading, Commissioner Clark was absent during first reading, so if y'all could give us some feedback here, that'd be appreciated.
So the 2-part is the lot count and the road surface.
Okay. So I know I was absent. I'll go ahead and, for me, seeing what they do in the rural areas with the PRDs and, you got Barrington and all these other places, people are buying up these 40-acre tracts, and they're doing it right now. If we drive down, we got several coming in. We approved one, and I don't know if this is a grandfathered in or what they're going to be able to get away, but if you buy a 40-acre true tract and they try to put 8 homes on there, it really can't be done because there's no ingress and egress for it. So 7 homes, let's say, and they use the other. For me personally, the way I see these things built, I'm a trigger at 7 lots when they're buying these big tracts and putting in these big houses for having a paved road.
So more than 7.
7
Plus.
or more triggers for me, because if you want them nice and you want these big lots and these big houses, we don't want people buying them up and just having a rut road through the middle. And the ones I've seen built are very nice. And to hold somebody to some sort of standards, to me, having a paved road when you're building homes on these things would be a nice amenity. So I think a 7 or more on these 40-acre tracts. I don't know if that's going to solve everything for us, but if you go look what they're doing out here in the rural community, it's happening.
Can Mr. Mayor, can I ask
So-
a
And
follow-up question
Please, some
there?
feedback.
So, because staff doesn't have a position on the number. Staff does have a position that there should be some number where you don't have to pave a road, right?
I
So if the
say
number-
7 or more when you're buying these places out is what I'm discussing.
At 7, so the number would be 7, and the road would be a paved road at
Paved
7?
road at 7 or more. And there again, we're talking the ones that are developing. If it's a family piece of land giving their daughter something, then that's
We
different.
can't make that distinction. So in the
So I'm
ordinance, we can't make that distinction. I'd let Scott answer that question about why we can't. We can only
Are we
set
gonna go
the
back
code.
40 years for a split, or are we gonna start today?
Well, we'll start the split over on the comp plan. This is an interim ordinance. It's good for 1 year.
Right.
It expires, right? So we could try, this is to help move some folks forward. And I made the point in the first one that primarily this is families, but we can't legally distinguish between and say, families, you get to do one thing, other people, you don't get to do the same thing. So the number is the number, but I guess my question is, it could be something that between 7 and 9, you could do a chip seal road, right? After 10, it's got to be a paved road, right? I mean, we can make those kinds of distinctions.
And tear it out.
And tear it out.
Tear it out.
So
Right.
under 7, you can do lime rock, 7 to 10, so 8 or 9, you
Well,
can do chip seal.
here again,
And this is all interim.
I know.
We can change it at any time,
Right.
so.
We just need something so that we can get some of these folks who are mostly families, right now, they're
So
at
there
a
again, are
dead.
we going back to the day they bought the land, great granddaddy? Or are we gonna start?
That's a separate issue. Don't get that one confused. This is, the lot splits is separate. This is if I'm gonna split my lot, where it's gonna
Are we
trigger
gonna count the
the.
back lots? Are we gonna count where they split 10 years ago?
Yes, but
Because these are 40-acre tracts. These are
Right.
100-acre tracts that have been split.
so you're talking about it-
From grandmamas to sons to daughters.
And they've already got their
And
houses
they've already
in the
got their
back.
houses there. So are we gonna go back and go 100 years ago when we started these farms? Are we gonna start then, or where are we gonna start?
I think we start with today, if you guys bang the
So
gavel,
today we
yes.
start.
Right.
All the farms that are split is 0.
I just want to be clear, so
That's what I'm asking.
yeah, the comprehensive plan was adopted November 12th, 1992. That's when the city said, these are parent parcels. Are we familiar with the term parent parcels? And so any split of those parent parcels from that 1992
So
date?
then that alleviates granny and granddaddy when they started the farm, giving it to the son, and then, so 1992
Yeah,
forward is where our date is.
yes, sir.
But I think the point that you're making, which is a good point, if I've got 40 acres and grandpa has a house in the back on his 5, that one's not going to be counted in this. If they want to do something with the rest of the remaining acreage, it would be, okay, you're going to do 5-acre splits on the rest of the 40. That's going to put you at 7, right? You have to pave a road because you're at 7.
And there again, this is not gonna fit everybody, because we got rural community doing something for family, we got people buying the rural community and putting their own stuff in. Is there anything that triggers if they come to you, Paul, John Paul, for, buying, just like Magnolia down here, they bought the 40 acres, they wanna put in 8 homes? Is there anything that triggers that to make them put a paved road in?
Currently, yeah, they have to put in a paved road. That is the
If we
standard
change
today.
this, they don't
Currently,
have
right
to
now,
put in-
if you separate 10 into 2.5, you have to pave the road. That's the way the rule is right now.
Even if it comes out to a major road.
You gotta pave the road.
Gotta pave it.
That's what staff is trying to change, so that we don't have to tell somebody who's taking 10 acres and 2.5 acres, sorry, you
I got
also
it.
have to
That's
pave a
what we're
road.
trying, 'cause
So
that's the family.
So whatever the number is, we just need, and I need to hear so I got one commissioner at 7, I need to see 2 other heads nodding at 7, so we can move to the road.
I got a question. So here's the deal. So, I got 3 kids. I got 80 acres. It's not gonna affect them, right? No, right? Wouldn't affect them.
Wait, I'm not understanding the question. How was it not affecting
You just
them?
divide, now suppose.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
divide a lot.
yeah.
Split it into 80, you're not gonna trigger it.
Yeah, so, but
At 5, you will. At 7, you won't.
this is my problem. Get on, 484 or whatever in Marion County, and I know I'm beating a dead horse, but all those subdivisions over there, they're 1 acre, 5 acre subdivisions, and they're all lime rock, dusty roads. But people are buying in there, but I'm like, what the heck? And some of them only have 6 or 7 that goes down to a cul-de-sac and what comes back. But I'm like, wow, the value's not there. It's terrible. And it seems like that's the norm in Marion County. And do we want that to be the norm here? I don't know.
Well, there again, I think for me personally, I'm just divided in buying a place to develop it or giving land to your children that are gonna build their home with their name and your daddy's name and your great daddy's name. I mean, it's all right there in family land. They're not selling the land to develop it.
And I want to add to that.
Is there anything that would trigger?
All that's going to trigger is you're going to have a developer send somebody in and say, I'm buying this for my family.
No.
And then you're going to, it's the exact same thing with right now. You can build an ADU onto your house, 5 acres. I got my house. I built a house for my mother-in-law. And then as soon as we split it and we sell off the 2.5 acres, right? And you can do that. And everybody that comes in says, I'm just doing it for family. I'm never going to sell, right? And then.
Well, it shows it on the warranty.
We can ask God to weigh in. My understanding, legally, you cannot make a distinction and say, I have one set of rules for family and one set of rules for developers. My point isn't to argue the legal point. It's just say all that rule would do is put staff in an untenable position of having to believe whatever someone comes in to say.
Got it. I understand. It just.
And another thing, I mean, let's take another analogy here. I mean, so you have a mother-in-law suite that you're gonna build in the back of your property. That's family and that's legal. Do you see what I'm saying? There's really no difference there.
I didn't quite follow. I didn't quite follow that.
Huh?
2 houses on one property.
On one property. Because, hey, you know what? My father-in-law just passed and I'm building a house for my mother-in-law. I think somebody up here did that.
Mine's attached to my house.
Oh, is it?
Right.
But either way, it's legal because it's family. So how is it not legal if I'm gonna split up to my 3 kids? You see what I'm saying? And then they'll probably want to.
I'm following about
split.
70% of this, right? But I do agree that if I have 5 acres, I can build something for family. I have to come into staff and say, I'm doing this for my mother-in-law. But there is no rule after mother-in-law passes that, at this point, we just say you have to have your own meter, because what ends up happening is they split the land, they sell it off, and now instead of having a nice plan development, you've got what was supposed to be a bunch of 5 acre homes that were nice. Now you've got that broken into 2.5. So all staff needs from you guys is direction. I think we have residents here tonight who are in this situation, right? And they do not want to be tasked with having to spend $250,000 on a paved road. I'm not disagreeing with any of the concerns. I'd also say Newberry has been doing this just like every other community has been doing this. So the fear that it's going to explode into a whole lot of folks, I don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's the case, right? Because 20 years ago, if you came in way after 1992, if you came in and said, my mother just passed, she left me 13 acres, we could say, well, you can have a 5 acre and an 8 acre tract, and you can build houses and you can go. And there was never any, now the rule about paving the road was on the books, right? So we're trying to make sure that staff is enforcing the rules that you guys put on the books. Staff doesn't create the rules, you guys do, right? So we enforce the rules you create. If you tell us that when somebody comes in and they've got 25 acres and they want to make 5 houses out of it, they have to pave a road, that's what we're going to do. All I'm asking in return is when that angry resident calls you up and blasts everybody for having to pave a road, you guys take ownership and say, hey, we don't want it to look like whatever place, you got to pave a road, right? 'Cause we're going to enforce whatever rules you guys set. So whether the number is 9, whether the number is 7, whether the number is 5, if you set it at 5, tomorrow someone's going to come in and want to do 6, right? If you set it at 7, tomorrow someone's going to want to do it at 8. we gotta have the line somewhere, and I think that's how staff kind of got to 10. If you're less than 10, right, then we're gonna let you go without having to pave a road. If you're 10 or more, we want to see the nicer amenities.
I understand this, but let's go back to people buying the land up and wanting to put these 5-acre homes in here. What triggers a builder? Is there a builder? If he comes in and buys it, wants to just divide it and build it, does that trigger anything at the,
Depends on how many lots.
John Paul?
So. It depends how many
Go ahead.
lots that they want.
Right. That's what we're setting here today. What triggers it?
What triggers it?
That's what we're setting today.
That's the discussion.
Yeah.
What's the lot trigger and what is the road surface that you want?
Well, I'm good with 7 acres, but I'm thinking in 40-acre tracts. These others they got to come before and do all the planning and the subdivision stuff. If they're on a major road, and if you did your 10-acre tracts, and they come to the road, all they got to do is buy the land. They go in there and build their own home, put their own infrastructure in,
Correct.
and they come to the main road. They got to get a permit evidently for a driveway touching the road.
They do.
Stuff like that, but other than that.
And all of what we're talking about is private
I'm talking
infrastructure.
about getting.
We're never
to the
taking
road,
these
you know what I
cities.
mean? I'm talking
Are
going
these streets.
1,800 feet into a place, not coming out on a regular road. Like,
Yeah.
you can't build a house 1,800 feet off the road and have a 2-lane rut road back there.
Certainly.
And especially for our fire vehicles or anything else getting back there, raining, muddy, I've done it. I lived in one. I still do, and I paved my own road. So I know what it takes after a year or two it's just a washout. I mean, the weather has a lot of creation for making it a bad situation.
Yeah.
I'm looking more, the family's one thing and the building's another, but I don't know where.
Can I get a little bit more nuanced here? I have two thoughts, right?
Okay.
One, let's stick with your 40 acres. One of the issues of why that 40 acres is only going to get 7 is because they have to have a road.
That's correct.
Right? We can also, and with a very small tweak to this, we could give staff the ability to look at it and see, is that justified, right? To go ahead and approve 8 on 40 acres, because what will end up happening is each of those 5-acre lots will be 4.75, right? Well, that's, in my mind, that's close enough, right? We can put that in here so that you have the ability to say, I've got 20 acres, but now you guys are making me build a road. So because you're making me build a road, each of those lots isn't actually 5 acres anymore,
Well,
right?
then it becomes a PRRD.
No, it doesn't become a PRRD. PRRD is a whole different thing, right? PRRD is saying that
They're
we're going to.
developing. These are guys that just come build their own home.
Right, but the PRRD is saying, I have 100 acres, I could build 20 houses on that, I'm gonna build all 20
Understand.
right here, but the other 80 has to stay in ag, right? So, this is a specific zoning package, right? It would be applied, but one of the things that you could do to get away from some of that silliness is we could put in here and say, look, if you're losing the pure 5 acres because of the right-of-way, staff has the ability to say, you've justified that, yes, 4.8, you can still build a house, right? My second thought is back to roads, right? I have the all-weather road, which you could have the ruts, right? We've all driven on those, we've all seen it, we've all lived here for most of our entire lives. You've got a lime rock road, which we do have a slide on. Now, for a D road, that's not just the lime rock that we would put down on the farm. You've got to come in, you've got to pack it, you've got to do. We have quotes on that for, how long is the driveway for you? That's $40,000? 660 feet comes in at about $40,000 to put that lime rock road in. There's gravel, there's milled roads, there's chip sealed roads, there's your driveway, which is as pretty as a road, but would not count as a road, it would count as a driveway, right? So there's also some wiggle room in the direction that you give us of, when you say paved road, do you mean State Road 26 paved road? Do you mean driveway level, 4 inches of asphalt? Like, so there's some, I'd ask you, especially if we're considering making someone who is trying to do 6 houses pave a road, maybe there's some wiggle room in what do we mean when we use that word paved, so that it's not a $250,000.
Exactly.
Right? What can we do that splits the difference between the fear of the rut road, right, and the $250,000 paved road? That's what we're asking for. So it's the number and it's the type of road is what the conversation needs to be on. So I've heard 5, I've heard 7.
I've got
What do I got over here?
I've
What I
got a
got?
summary.
I want to hear from those residents that are
Okay,
trying
yeah,
to do that.
fair
before
enough.
I say anything.
Is there anything on the road and the quality of road and the type of road that you want to ask before we go to public comment?
I mean, the chips, not the chip
What
seal,
I-
but what do you call the blacktop we're putting down everywhere?
Chip seal?
No, not the chip seal, that's all tarred together.
So what I,
Millings.
Oh, yeah.
kind of, what I wrote down was 7 and under, a minimum of lime rock.
Okay.
8, 9, and 10, a minimum of chip seal. Anything over 10 would be paved.
Okay.
That's just the minimum. It doesn't mean the person coming in and doing 2 can go do paved if they want. But 7 or under is lime rock. 8, 9, or 10 would be chip sealed at a minimum. Over 10 would be paved. So that's kind of a starting point.
That is
And
not a
one-
bad way to do it, because it gives a little bit to everybody,
Okay.
and it gets a driveway.
Okay, well, let's open it up to the public.
Hey, just
John
add-
Paul has a couple of more slides if you want to do them real quick, John Paul.
All
feel
right.
the same way. I just wanted to add to the maintenance that was a concern in the last meeting, and I'm hearing it again today. One of the things that we were talking about as we were discussing this change was getting some sort of agreement or an affidavit from the owner saying, not necessarily that they're obligating themselves in advance of a condition that doesn't exist, but at least that they understand that the city can do a special assessment should it be deemed necessary to repair the road. And this is not uncommon for municipal governments or county governments to go in and repair roads and then add that to those specific properties' tax bill at the end of the year.
We
So
definitely have to get our vehicles back there, emergency vehicles.
And Mr.
That's
Mayor,
very important.
just to be clear, in this interim zoning package, it's not just that get the emergency vehicles in, you also have to be able to get it back out. So there has to be a place for them to be able to turn around, all of
Ingress
that.
and egress is
Right.
important for.
And I want to make sure that John Paul's comments on the maintenance are sinking in, because everybody on that dais has the ability to maintain an all-weather road, right? I can bring in dirt, I can spread dirt myself, I can mow. If we do a Street D Lime Rock Road, I can't maintain that by myself, right? I have to hire somebody to bring in a load of rock, I have to hire somebody to spread it. Now, and I think that we would enforce, because we do that now, if our fire department 911 can't access you, you get a letter and says, look, we can't get to you, right? You need to do something with your road. So when we think about that maintenance, because there may come, if we say you've got to put in Lime Rock Road, and then we send them a letter saying, and you have to maintain it, they're gonna say, but you made me build a road that I can't maintain, right? I have to pay somebody to maintain it. Whereas a dirt road, I can go to any nursery right around here and get a load of dirt. I can smooth that out myself. I can mow my own road, right? Those kind of, just food for thought. This staff is going to listen very carefully to what you say, and we're going to enforce your rules, right? So if we hit tomorrow, a resident doesn't fit in it, right? I just need you guys to support the rules that you're creating, right? John Paul, is that, you got?
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, and this slide just provides the HUD definition for an all-weather road. Always passable. There's no schematic or standard for it because it's literally a wagon trail, you know? The same way that people have been getting to their property all these years, they're allowed to continue to do something to that effect, and it just needs to be a passable gravel road of some sort. So that's essentially it. I think you guys did a great job getting into some of the big issues that were discussed last time. That completes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Hey, John Paul, do we have a recommended action? Because the motion that passed on first reading was everything in this presentation minus the slide that had the cross-throughs, right? So when we get to the point of making a motion, we'll need to go back and make sure that we are getting that motion correct. Do we have something written down? Okay. Mayor's on top of it. All right.
Okay. We got some citizens that talk.
I have a question for you, John Paul.
Yes, sir.
In the ordinance, the deleted restriction requiring subdivisions with a 1 mile of water, wastewater. Haven't we been approving subdivisions within, out of that range?
We have been, yeah.
And why is that? How come that hasn't been brought forward?
To rectify something to the effect of Dillon's Grove, for example, that's a plat that is using a zoning code to prepare it for possibly future water and wastewater services. Where it's located, it's outside of our service area. It will never get water and wastewater services, but it's required the plat. It's way beyond that 1 mile distance. And things like that have been occurring. And so there's, as we add to the code, we need to also evaluate as we're adding things to the code. I believe the PRRD was added around 2014-ish, maybe even earlier. And in adding that, we need to look, what does that conflict with when we're allowing these things to occur? And because there was that conflicting code, we're seeing it now, we're trying to address it now. But we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. That has values. That's something that came out of, the rapid growth of South Florida during the 70s and 80s. And a lot of these policies were kind of applied as a blanket to a lot of smaller communities. This is one of the smaller communities that got a recommendation from probably a regional planning council of some sort. And it may or may not have been consistent with the way things are have been done, and it's definitely not consistent with certain portions of our code or how we've administered the code. So we're looking to just pull that back now, remove that limitation. I don't know if that answers your question, but it at least gives you a status of where we're at right now.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious how these subdivisions got approved without falling under that ordinance.
Sometimes laws are
Right, but I mean,
selectively
Was
enforced.
it part of the presentation? I don't recall
Well,
having
Barrington's
knowledge.
one, the code is one.
Yeah, but did they tell us that it has to, that our ordinance says it has to be within that? No, they didn't tell us that.
Mr.
So-
Mayor, go ahead.
I don't know, I'm sorry.
I just wanted, the Barrington and Lakotas and Dillon's Grove, those were all, Barrington and Lakota was approved by you guys. Dillon's Grove was way before, right? So I do believe that we have been very, very intentional in the past 10 years, right? We have been thinking about this a lot. That's why we have an urban service area, right? I read somebody on social media this week and they said, well, you guys approve developments anywhere, right? And that's very, very specifically untrue, right? You guys drew a map, you had public workshops, you said if you're inside the urban service area, that is where we want to encourage. Outside is where we want to encourage the green belt, right? I think that what we are trying to do, and in this conversation, I have conflicted. I hear everything that Commissioner Coleman is saying, but I also think that Commissioner Clark is worried about developers, right? Well, developers are looking for large tracts of land that they can buy from one person, right? That's why they go after farmers, because grandpa's been farming, his kids don't want to do it, they can get 100 acres plus, and they can go in high density. If we can facilitate a way that we're comfortable encouraging 5-acre tracts, then I think you kill a developer's ability to go in, because that person is not going to go in and negotiate with 10, 15, 20 individual and try to piece together a tract and then tear down all of their homes so they can come in. So outside 202, to go east, outside the urban service area, right? I do think we're going to continue to feel pressure from people who are wanting to escape Gainesville. They want a little bit of land. They have the right. They have a state right to build a house on 5 acres, right? What we're trying to do is figure out how can we facilitate this in a way that's attractive. Emergency services can get there. But if we can answer this question, I also think we put a nail in the coffin of somebody coming to us 20 years from now, 30 years from now on the other side of the urban service area and saying, I want to do a high density development because that land is going to be checkered with people who have already built 5-acre homes and they're going to be comfortable and they're not going to sell out, right? And the developer's not even going to ask because they're not going to go do the legwork to knock on that many doors. So it's one or the other, right? State law, you can build a house on 5 acres, What we're trying to say is, okay, do you have to pave the road? How do you have to go about doing that, right? So that's just the flip side to what Commissioner Coleman has been saying. If you leave those large tracts, then the intense developers are going to come. They're going to say, oh, there's a whole 60 acres there. I want to build house on quarter-acre lots, right? And 50 years from now, none of us will be here, right? So we're all looking at a crystal ball here and making the best guess that we can to preserve the character of the community to the best of our ability while respecting private property rights.
Okay. You ready to hear from the public?
Sure.
All right. John Paul, we'll let members of the public come forward, speak on this topic. Just introduce yourself and let us know what you're talking about.
Thank you all so much for giving us the opportunity to talk about this. My name is Robert Vasquez. I'm
Robert
Robert Vasquez. I'm a physician. I've been living in Alachua County for the last 8 years, and we actually live right behind North Florida Hospital, which is where I work. But we purchased a property here. It's a 35-acre property that has been previously subdivided, and we would like to be a part of your community and bring my family here. We've always had the dream of having, just a family homestead. I'm currently raising a family. I have a 14-month-old little girl, and we have plans for several more. So we wanted to subdivide our property, the 35 acres, into basically a 15-acre blueberry U-pick, ideally, in the future, and then 4 lots for family members, including myself, my in-laws, my brother-in-law, and our grandparents. And currently, due to the rules, we would trigger the major subdivision rule, and we're not developers. I cannot afford to build a paved road with asphalt and bring all of my family here and help them with the costs of coming here into your community. And I don't intend to change the structure of your community. I want to grow with it and contribute to it. But right now, the rules make it so that it's impossible for me to afford that. And so I think this proposal actually addresses our specific situation very well. And I don't know how it works exactly because, the original plat it had already been subdivided into, 4 lots. And so I think we would be a total of 10 lots if we subdivided into our 5 lots. I don't know how that works, but in any case.
All right, Mr. Vasquez, I don't mean to step on your toes here in the interest of time. I think we got it, and let's see if we can get to it, get your answer for you.
I'm sorry. One more thing is it's 2 miles from the nearest paved road to our house.
Okay, good point. Ms. Campbell, do you have something also?
I do. He would be my neighbor,
Oh, okay.
and I'm proud to have him. He has really taken care of me through illnesses. He's wonderful, his wife, his child. Our road, Holder Grade, is a disgrace. I've asked Jamie Jones to grade it for the last 2 weeks, and he says, no, it's not raining, we're not going to grade it. When it rains, it floods. When people have houses down that road, our houses don't flood, our roads don't flood. Where he's putting his house will not flood. Having a road there is not going to help, okay? I mean, it's really, you can't even take care of the main road that we live on. Why do you think he should put in $40,000, $500,000 to pave a road? We live in rural area, very far. The fire trucks get back there. When we had a farm accident a few years ago, they made it back through the sandy roads way in the back past Holders to come and do the best they could, and they did a great job. It's kind of a big difference between all these developments and to where we live. I mean, so y'all have to, hard for the city to make these decisions, to say, you can do this, you can't do that. This won't be city water, this will be wells. Fire department can get there. If you pave the road, I don't want that, you know. I liked it the way it was. If they could maintain it, they keep telling me they're gonna put more lime rock, if they quit putting it on the side of the roads, we would have a road. Too much dirt. I have my phone, but I'm not gonna show you the pictures this time. But anyway, I want you to think about it. He would be a great asset to this town. Kind people, his family's moving there. They're part of my family already. And I hope y'all make a good decision tonight.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And Mr. Vasquez, if I'm doing the math, it's essentially so it's essentially 5 tracks you're trying to build out of this 35? A 15 and then 4 5s, Mr. Vasquez?
I may buy the next property next to me if I can get Danny Lane to sell it.
Okay. All right. So just to kind of recenter, what I had mentioned was 7 and under, lime rock minimum. 8, 9, or 10 would be chip seal minimum, and over 10 would be pavement minimum. This is just a 1-year temporary. We can repeal it at any time if it's not working. What's the pleasure of the commission? You can do that, you can do that. Commissioner Farnsworth?
It can be changed at any time.
You were at 5, so you're kind of a no. Is that fair? Or you changed your mind?
I could go 7.
Commissioner
But you said
Maison?
7 and under is lime rock, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I think 7 and under should be just natural.
Okay.
I mean, because
It's not gonna matter.
I mean, there's a difference in natural than there is lime rock.
We live in Newberry.
I know
It's
that.
already lime.
That's just,
I mean, come on.
there's a difference. You say that, but I mean, not everybody has the money you have.
Mr.
And they're
Mayor,
trying to put trailers down.
I would actually put a plug in for what Commissioner Maison is saying, because if we say lime rock, then that's a standard D. It means we have to send somebody out there to inspect it. We have to send somebody out there to make sure that they're doing that, right? For under 7, I think that's a lot of time and effort. I might suggest that under that 6 and down, all-weather road, 7 through 9, Lime Rock Road to that standard, right? 10, we're talking paved road.
I'm with that.
I'm cool with that.
Yep.
Say it one more time.
So
All-weather road.
6 and under, all-weather road.
Which means
They can
what?
maintain it. That means
Grass.
that,
Just the grass?
it means that the fire department has to be able to get in and out, right? So it does have to be maintained, right, so that we can get in and out. But it doesn't mean that they've got to go in with a surveyor, peel off the top, pack it down, survey it, grade it, all of that kind of stuff. From 7 to 9, they do have to do that. 10 and up, they have to pave.
So there's no chip seal in here?
I might put it, but we'll just leave it at that.
Chip seal, dude.
Yeah.
It's either all natural or paved road.
This gives us a year to figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a year, I'm willing to work with what you just said.
Okay.
But in a year, I'm gonna advocate for all natural, lime rock, and then chip seal. Because 10 and paving is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But that's just me. So I would go all weather, lime rock, and then I would go chip seal.
Yeah, but if you have a,
You gotta be subdivision, you need to pay.
But
And nothing keeps anybody from paving. You know, they can go in and pave if they got 2 if they want.
I got one more. And I hate to drag this out, but when it comes to legal, and there's a lot of us Colemans. I mean, a lot. If it's family, you cannot, why is it illegal, or why is it, you understand? I mean, there's 7 to 10 of us that's got a pile of kids.
You have to go ask the state Supreme Court.
When it comes to our families,
Right.
it's like the government is telling us what we can and can't do with our land, with who we're gonna leave it with.
You can leave it. There's no problem with leaving it.
But they can't build on it.
And that's what we're trying to fix with this in front of you. That's what we're trying to fix.
We're trying to satisfy you.
Right. Well, I'm trying real hard to make Commissioner Coleman happy.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is the goal here.
Constituents, that I got to look at it and go, hey,
Right.
I know you got that many family members and
Well, it comes
Here we
back,
are.
it comes back
all
to,
coming back in.
it comes back to what's the number, what's the road service?
Right.
So if we want to at least start with what was last proposed, we can start there and see if it works, and if it doesn't work.
What was last proposed was 6 and under, all-weather road, 7, 8, 9, Lime Rock, D road, 10 and up, paved road,
I'm with that. I'm good with that.
paved road.
And like you said, we can change it at any time.
You can change it
Would
at
you
any
like to make-
time.
We're gonna,
Motion.
Would you like
I'm good
to,
with that.
Yeah.
we have a motion
I
to that
I
effect?
don't think they're done.
Well, you have to have a motion before you can get
Okay.
public back
Yeah.
up.
I motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor for the proposed outline. Any further discussion from the dais? Any from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, unanimous.
There we go.
Could you verify, do you mind, Mason first, Coleman second?
Yes, correct. Yes, ma'am. All right, okay, agenda items, Champions Park discussion, I've got Rod Clark down on this one. And he's, we're deferring to the manager?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commission, Jordan Marlowe, City Manager. I'll tell you, Rod is here to answer any questions, but basically it's a real simple one-question agenda item. At a summer workshop on rec, the commission and the folks who were present advocated for Champions Park to get wrapped back up into Newberry Parks and Rec. It is coming, we're coming to the end of the agreement with our leasee, so we need direction from the commission. Do you want the commission to bring Champions Park back into the fold when that lease is up, or do you want us to go and negotiate a new lease with the current holder?
I move that we take Champions Park back.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second from Commissioner Farnsworth and Commissioner
Get it,
Clark
Rod.
respectively. Is there any discussion on the motion from the dais? Any from the public?
Hoorah.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, unanimous. Okay, number 14, agenda item, Northwest First Avenue Water Main Project. And Rance, you have the floor, sir.
Good
I
afternoon,
think this is our
Commission.
last item for the night.
This is.
Before comments.
Rance Green, Utility Public Works Director. The city has a strong commitment in completing critical infrastructure, improving ahead of the upcoming Twin Pairs project. In support of the commitment, the city placed out a bid of improvement for construction on the Northwest First Avenue water main. The work includes furnishing all labor, materials, equipment, tools, and services necessary to construct an 8-inch water main, water surfaces, fire hydrants, as well as reconnecting the water mains to existing cross streets, water systems along Northwest First Avenue. From the intersection of Northwest 249th to the intersection of Northwest 260th Street, and continuing along the railroad's right-of-way to the intersection of proposed South State Road 26 improvements. The project scope also includes 2 directional bores, one under State Road 45 and one under State Road 26, and 1 jack and bore installation under the existing railroad crossing at Northwest First Avenue. Request for bid RF 2025-04 for the City of Newberry Northwest First Water Main project was advertised and been competitively, let me get that word there out for you guys, a little tongue twister, bid responsive bidders. The city received several qualified responsive, and Hartman Civil, who submitted the base bid of $1,527,388, was the lowest. After the thorough review and evaluation, staff has determined that Hartman Civil is the responsible and responsive bidder and recommends awarding the project at the base bid amount. The award reflects the city's continued commitment to completing key utility upgrades before the Twin Pair projects begin, ensuring coordination, construction, reduced disruptions and long-term systems reliability. It is the recommendation of staff to the commission to authorize the city manager to enter in a contract with Hartman Civil in the amount of $1,527,388 and approve change orders not to exceed up to 15% of contract value.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
How long would it take, excuse me, Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
how long is the project?
Roughly 9 months.
9 months?
Yes, sir.
Can Watson do it in 3?
I imagine the price might be a little higher, but yeah.
You can get time, you
Yeah.
can get speed, you can get quality, right?
Yeah,
Which
right.
two do you want?
We get the team.
Is there a motion that we can put on the floor before we get too deep into the discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, a motion from Commissioner Clark, a second from Commissioner Coleman. And what, discussion on the item?
Yeah.
Mr. Coleman?
There's quite a bit of people that live there. What's the plan? I mean, I know we're gonna get a bunch of flack from residents.
So I'm gonna let the manager handle this question because we are out, he told me today that we had Facebook and everything. so-
You're really learning to be a good director, Rance.
Yeah, you are.
Defer.
Yeah.
We will do all the things we did for Southwest 15th. We will hang door knockers, we will put it on the website, we'll put it on social media, right? I might get Newberry's elf to help me make a video, those will go viral all the time, right? Whenever he does a cameo. But we also have a tool that we will be rolling out very quickly called Text My Gov. And it's going to give us the ability to text all of the residents in town with updates and communication. It will give people like our Public Works Director the ability to draw a map just around First Avenue, and we can send a text to all of those people and say, construction begins in 2 days, right? This section's gonna be shut down, here's your alternate route. We can put in that text, and we can identify down to just one house if we need to, right? We can put in that text the link so they can go back to the website and get more information, see how the project is progressing, you know, when we're scheduled to complete all those kinds of things. So it is gonna take our ability to communicate with the town to the next level. We've always had this ability, but residents had to opt in. So after 6 years, we only ever got about 3,000 people to opt in. This one, we can mine everybody's number, and you're already in, you have to opt out. So we'll be able to send a text to everybody immediately, and then when we have boil water notices, when we have Christmas celebrations, we'll be able to say, here you go, right? And we can do surveys with town. I mean, it's gonna be a really cool tool. But it's going to be immediately put to the test with First Avenue.
And me and the manager did say we would walk around and knock on doors just to make sure everyone was aware of what was going on.
I'm going to make sure everybody sees our face,
Yep.
right? And so when they come here, I can say, no, sir, I was there 3 weeks ago. I shook your hand and told you this was coming, and you said, all right, I appreciate it. So.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor, property seconded. Is there any further discussion from the dais? Commissioner Farnsworth?
Has the state of Florida already obtained all the rights and stuff to the property?
No, sir. So that's another thing too, is it's still under the city's scope, so we'll be able to do it without having to deal with the state.
I think the commissioner's asking if they bought all the land that
Have
they
they bought all
need.
the land?
My understanding is they're
yes,
down,
yes.
they have closed everything now? I thought they had one last property.
Yeah, I think they have one last property. I
Right.
thought you was meaning that First Avenue is still under the city of Newberry, so.
Okay, so.
But they've acquired all the property except for one and the property owner is not resistant to selling. The property owner just has a plethora of asks in return to sell.
Rance, what part of First Avenue are we talking about?
From be Northwest 249th, which is the road across from Hardee's, all the way to Northwest 264th down First Avenue, on the north side of First Avenue. All the way? All the way, yes, sir.
Gotcha. And you're gonna.
Yes, sir, all the way.
Starting at the east end? and
Not
working?
sure where they're going to start at.
Okay.
It'll be whenever we do the notice to proceed, we'll have a pre-job meeting, and we'll
Okay.
kind of finalize all the details and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Any discussion from the public? 1, 2, 3. What's, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, unanimous. Motion passes. Is Hartman Civil here? No? Okay. Never mind. Comments, citizen comments, 5 minutes. Going once, going twice. Anybody? 3, 4. City Manager.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. I have a lot of comments, but I'm guessing that most of you are going to make those comments, so I'm going to steer
We're
well
going to put
clear
you at
of
the
them.
bottom of the list from now on.
So I
you
did
go
want to let
last.
you know that the city will be closed on Thursday in observance of Thanksgiving. And I also want to let the residents know that solid waste will be delayed by 1 day. So they'll be out and running, but they'll be 1 day behind the regular schedule. Mr. Mayor, that concludes my comments.
Fair enough. Mr. Attorney?
Well, of course, we were kind of anticipating the new city hall, and with new things, I wanted to also talk about a new addition that we have to our law firm, and that's Nicole Shalley. Nicole, why don't you come up here so that you can... I'm really proud that we have gotten Nicole to come with our law firm. She brings a real wealth of experience. She was a city attorney for 14 years for the city of Gainesville, and I think if you can stay there for 14 years, you're well experienced in all facets of the law. And she's been 4 years out in Levy County. She did her undergraduate work at the University of Florida. And then, Monty, you'll like this. She went to Florida State for her law degree.
That's where you go for higher education.
I think she identifies as Seminole as well. So now you have a compadre on the commission, Monty. So
was that part of her application?
Real stumbling block.
Huh.
But everything that she's done in the law, she's exercised leadership, and not only as a city attorney, but in all the sections that she's been involved in. And one of the things my partner, Allison Folds, says, if you're going to be involved in a membership in some organization, you ought to lead it. And she's been in the executive council of the city, county, and local government law section of the Florida Bar. That's the group that sets all the rules for city attorneys and what we do in the practice of local government law, and she's on the executive council with that. She's been in the real property, probate, and trust sections of the Florida Bar. And then one of the things that I think is extremely impressive is she's been on the executive board for the Florida Municipal Attorneys Association. Your manager came up with the idea here of getting somebody, we're growing so fast and we got so many things that are going on. He said, can we get somebody over here on a daily basis, Monday through Thursday when City Hall's open? So when Randa has a question or Stacy has a question, of course Stacy was over at Levy County, and there's no secret that they're sitting close together over there. So you're going to have a very formidable team with Stacy and Nicole here. But I think it was a brilliant idea. It's coming at the right place, right time, and I think it's also a great add-on for our law firm, because now we have somebody that can mentor our younger lawyers. And as you see, a lot of our younger lawyers are females as well, so this kind of really fits our needs, but it also, I hope, will fit your needs. And I just want to take this moment. She starts December 1, and have Nicole say a word or two. I know you weren't maybe prepared to do that, but go ahead, Nicole.
Thank you, Scott, for the very warm introduction. Hello, Mayor and Commissioners. I am very pleased to have joined Folds Walker, and I just look forward to working with you and working with your staff and making great things happen here in Newberry and helping support you with legal services to get all of that done. So, thank you.
I will say, whenever I needed something in the city attorney's office when she was in Gainesville, whether it was GRU or some other issue that I had going on, maybe even a private client, I always got a very good reception from her and also her staff. And I know she'll carry that forward, giving you the service here as well. And I've been friends with her for all this time and respected her abilities as well. So I'm real excited about that. And just one final comment. The 18th of December is when we're going to have our ethics presentation, and I hope to convince Nicole to have a little piece of that as well in the presentation. Mayor's put in for I call him the mayor still, and I do that, but our manager has put in for ribs, and so I don't know what the ladies will have for us when we get there, but hopefully there'll be some ribs on the menu. But other than that, that's all I had.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk.
I too am very excited to have Ms. Nicole joining our team, so welcome. I look forward to working with you. She was doing a walk around a couple of weeks ago, and she stopped in my office, and I was like, wait, I have a question. And her answer was perfect. A well-written ordinance should tell you what statute to go to. I pulled up the ordinance related. It told me what statute. It was very helpful to have an answer in 30 seconds.
Fantastic. Commissioner Coleman.
Welcome, Ms. Nicole. I'm glad you're going to be around. Rance, what's the two guys' names again?
Ryan Murphy and Sean Smith.
Ryan Murphy and Sean Smith. That's Newberry right there.
Right.
That is Newberry. So went out of their way, didn't keep riding on down the road. Something's wrong, stopped, and not being over political here, but a lot of them are like, oh, better not do anything. Here, our guys, that shows you that from the top, what kind of guys that were, and women, I don't want, that we're hiring here at the city of Newberry. Just makes me proud when I heard that. And besides that, y'all have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.
I was gone for the Marine Corps birthday and Veterans Day, and Anna, I want to thank you. I know we talked a little bit prior to me leaving, but you did a great job. You handled it all well. Mayor, city managers, and the staff who put all the stuff down there. It seems it was a great turnout, and I appreciate it. I wasn't able to be here. Next year I will, but thank you for everything, and it seems like it was a great event. So thanks for it to everybody who participated, and Anna, thanks for stepping up to the plate on that that leadership there. And Rance, tell the guys down there it's going to be over and over, but just we do appreciate things like that.
Yes, sir.
You go out of your way, it's a great thing. And other than that, that's all I got.
God bless America.
God bless America. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. I was just reading something a little disturbing to me. The Florida Gator quarterback, DJ Lagway. Apparently he was driving home from the game the other night and got to his house, but he couldn't get into his garage because somebody drew a goal line in front of it. So.
We played the
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Of course.
The moment he mentioned
It's a rivalry. Is that all, Mr. Coleman? Ay.
All right, that's my cue. Man, so those two guys, I'll see them. I'll shake their hands. I think, to Coleman, that is Newberry. Okay, so nobody, honestly, how long has that car been sitting there? How many cars passed by that car? It was our staff in their vehicle while they were working, headed to work. They said, you know what, that flash was on, look into it. They looked into it, found her in there, called 911, stayed with her. So yes, I agree. Our staff, that is Newberry. Who else would have done that? And how many people passed by them? So kudos to Ryan. And what was the other guy again? Sean. Kudos to those guys. Really?
They're from Newberry, of course.
That's right. Get them young.
Raised right.
Raised right. That's right. Raised right. All right. So the only other thing I have is actually there's a couple things. We have a lot coming up in December. MLK has adopted a senior citizen. That's where you guys could actually adopt a senior citizen, and at the Christmas party that they're hosting December 15th is where they will reveal the present with the senior citizen if you want to be there. So if you guys want to buy a present for Tim Martin, you guys could do that, and Monty and the rest of these guys up here, you can do that. And you could actually contact her at iGreen, Greene, at newberryfl.gov. Greene at newberryfl.gov. Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate that. Or you can messenger her at the website Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center on that. There was something else that I had. I'm trying to remember it, but I cannot. So you guys, it's Thanksgiving coming up. While you're hanging out with your buddies and eating, remember one thing. That's considered a taste bud. Taste buds. Buddies, and you're tasting? Okay.
You've had better. You've had better. So on Friday, I was at an event, and there was a couple of the commissioners from Levy County that were there. I had one of them sitting next to me, and she was mentioning both of you, and she was not happy to have lost these two ladies to us, in which we began negotiations of how much it would cost them to take them back, but no, just kidding. We're not that hard up for money, so we are happy to keep you. Happy Thanksgiving and to everybody. Make it a great holiday and a good weekend. Yes, Veterans was great. Anna did spectacular. Well done, young lady. Very, very good. Proud of you. And I'm actually going to put this man on the front row on the spot. Kamal, can you come up to the podium, please? This man is personally responsible for some of the successes that Newberry has had related particularly to ag in the food tech park. And I don't want to get mushy on you, but I am so proud and happy to have you as our team, even if you're not on the payroll. All right? Very, very, very proud of you, sir. I've known you for a long time. You live up to the exact epitome of the kind of relationships that we want to foster here in Newberry. And I am going to let you give us all the numbers.
Last 2 weeks, we saw fruit from the labor over at least the last 3.5 years that I've had as the opportunity to be serving as economic development consultant through my company, GBM Global Solutions. Many of you have seen the wonderful news and you've heard about Project Hydro, Harvest Singularity. That one greenhouse is a $66 million investment. And then with the payroll of 50 plus people at $91,000 average annual salary, that's a $4 million payroll. So that's $70 million for just one facility. And they have interest in perhaps doing a second facility. So then you double that, that's $140 million. And then last Friday, there was such a great announcement that the governor, and that's just the best photo op here, Governor DeSantis awarded the city $5.6 million for the Florida Job Growth Grant for the Ag Tech Park, for infrastructure, for road and utility. So you take the $140 million of private investment and then $5.6 million, you're talking $146 million coming into the city of Newberry, and most of that is private dollars just announced over the last 2 weeks.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Kamal. We can hope that you keep hitting grand slams with us.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, sir.
If I may just add one thing, just
Sure.
it's been a great team effort. We've had a great role to play with our consulting company, but just wanted to highlight 3 people in particular. The $70 million call that we got for Project Hydro was originally from Landon Harar, from the Greater Gainesville Chamber. He called back in March, said, hey, Kamal, there's a guy who wants to do greenhouses. Maybe it'll work at F300 in Newberry. And so that $70 million call helped get it going. Second person is Chris Moran, Chief of Staff to the UF-IFAS Senior Vice President, Scott Angle. He has been instrumental in helping the city have communication with Florida Commerce, which was the agency that the Jobs Growth Grant had to go to. And then lastly, but maybe most importantly, Jane Sullivan, your grants manager. We did the original application for the Jobs Growth Grant, and then Jane came in and she just added stuff and spruced it up and added a lot of good meat and content, and so that was really key. And so I just wanted to highlight, this is always a team effort. There's always great people involved, and we've just been honored to play our role. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Before I forget, I think that we should have our new elementary principal come in and kind of give us an update of where we're at and what, I know that we're a year out, but this might be for Jordan or Mr. Marlowe to address, but kind of just want to know what's going on here.
Okay, that's a good idea. Can we get her, or maybe
we can
at
make
the
that
next
happen.
meeting or January or something?
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. We do have a Board of Adjustment meeting with a couple of items that we need to address, but let's take 5 and come back. Meeting is adjourned.
Let's do it.
Voluntarily.
Yes, yes. I know I introduced myself.
I'm a consultant to the city, so I was retained by the city.
Projects around there.
Oh, really? Grandmother called you.
We always like to keep our pulse. Tomato, tomato.
Well, there must be another one around who is on.
It's always that way. We all have an input, that looks good too. Discuss this thing. Come to a resolution.
This is industrial. This one will be one story because great presentation. I love the guy. So it's
My chair is there.
Oh, your chair is very close.
I think I'm gonna go over there and check it out. And they moved, yeah, they did the construction.
That's fine.
I mean, I'm probably.
There's 11 contractors.
So like this one against the guy.
Yeah, we just put on. Good. Yeah, so
We're saying all this, we're walking for the. How you doing, brother? Hey, y'all.
No, I respect your time. I respect your time. All right, so we are going to call this Board of Adjustment meeting to order. Today's date is November 24th. Time is approximately 9:03 p.m. And request the board approval of the agenda as published. Do I hear a motion? A motion from Commissioner Mazon, Farnsworth on the second. Any discussion? Any from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimous. Approval of the minutes under consent.
Motion.
All those, motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, unanimous as well. All right, public hearings and ordinance sign variance for Wawa at Highland Park. This is a quasi-judicial, so let me get out my little script. We are entering quasi-judicial procedure. This means, that the commission, the Board of Adjustment will stop being a legislative body and will become a judicial board, which means that we have to follow certain standards and certain rules to adhere to of decision-making. The primary rule we must follow concerns testimony, and the substantial and competent evidence standard must be met when the judicial board makes a decision. This standard states the following, quote, "All public testimony will be taken under oath. Everyone testifying will be subject to cross-examination. All documents and exhibits shall be entered into evidence. The giving of opinion testimony is limited to experts. Closing arguments will be limited to the evidence of record," end quote. Now I'm going to ask the city attorney to read into the record the ordinance or resolution by title and number.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, this is resolution number 2025-56 VAR 25-03, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Newberry, Florida, serving as a Board of Adjustment, approving a variance as authorized under Section 3.2.5 of the City of Newberry Land Development Regulations, permitting 2 additional monument signs within the Highland Park Plan Development on certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida, consisting of 9.6 acres and more particularly described in Exhibit A attached to this resolution, repealing all resolutions in conflict and provide an effective date. The appropriate motion is passed. Resolution number 2025-56 upon its reading by title only.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir.
All members of the meeting who are applicants, staff, or participants, please rise, and I'm going to have the clerk swear you in. And we're going to start, please introduce yourselves over here, starting on the left.
Please raise your right hand and state your name.
George Marler.
Stacy Nectis.
John Paul Perez. Alvin Ramos.
Anthony Kachuk.
Chris Logan.
Adam Niles.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, yes.
You can do this one.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Before we begin, we're going to disclose any ex parte communications and disclose whether any member physically inspected the property. Ex parte communications are any conversations or transmission of information that may have bearing or influence on any voting member's decision. Commissioner Coleman?
None.
Commissioner Clark? Excuse me, Board Member Farnsworth?
None.
Board Member Mazon?
Zero.
Thank you, sir. I'm now going to explain the order of presentations that we will follow for every quasi-judicial item before us tonight. Presentation order, staff overview, applicant presentation if there is one, the staff report and recommendation, public comments for 3 minutes each. The applicant will then be able to cross-examine anything. The staff will be able to cross-examine anything, followed by the members of the decision-making body through the chair may ask questions of the staff or applicant and any other participants, followed by final arguments, and then the city attorney will advise the decision-making body of the applicable law and the factual findings that must be made to approve or deny the application. Deliberation of the application will be concluded with a vote to approve with conditions, continue, or deny the application. So first up will be the staff overview. Jean-Paul, you look like you're the one for this tonight. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Chair. For the record, John Paul Perez with the Community Development Department. The request before you tonight is a sign variance for the Wawa gas station at the Highland Park. Site plan's been approved. We're now talking about just the monument signs for the gas station. They're looking to do 2 monument signs. There's a few other considerations that aren't contemplated in the package that they're going to be asking for. That's the area and the height. Staff has no findings to present on that, and I'll let the applicant present their case for the board to make a decision on. There was a hearing on November 3rd before the Planning and Zoning Board. They recommended adoption with some conditions. One sign with the height and size to be worked out with staff prior to November 24th today, Board of Adjustment hearing. Number 2, Highland Park multi-tenant sign location to be finalized with the developer. There were some considerations about the location of the sign conflicting with the multi-tenant sign for Highland Park. And the second sign consideration for Board of Adjustment is dependent on the results of 1 and 2. The recommended motion is for the board to approve with conditions, continue or deny the request for a sign variance for Wawa. The applicant is Solid Rock, operating under the name SRPG Highland 6 LLC, just a site-specific, project-specific LLC. The owner is still Newberry Plaza LLC. And again, they're requesting a variance to allow 2 monument signs. Some additional considerations that weren't included in the package are sign area. They're asking for a bit additional sign area for the monument signs with the gas pricing on it and the Wawa logo, as well as some extra height. I'll get into the specifics as to what that height is and what the area is and let them present afterwards. Here's the property located within the Highland Park Plan Development. Here's an image showing the location of the 2 monument signs for planned developments. They're allowed 1 multi-tenant sign or 1 commercial signage for the town center portion. The way
Jump on who's they? Highland Park?
Highland Park, yes.
They are allowed 1 big multi-sign?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and that's supposed to capture all of the businesses that are in there. The way that the town center's been laid out, you're looking at Countryway Town Square, and you have an actual town center there. The way Highland Park has laid out their commercial, it's all spread across the commercial frontage, which makes it a bit of a different animal. On top of that, Florida Administrative Code requires that gas stations display their undiscounted prices on a sign. Doesn't specify the sign, but the industry standard is a monument sign that is illuminated, conspicuous, and hard to miss. This is the Florida Administrative Code. It's a good read. We'll skip past that. They are, well, let's talk about Highland Park. So multi-tenant signage, the overlay has some reduction in sign height and area to make it more compact and more blended into the landscape, but still providing that commercial notification to drivers that, hey, there are businesses located here. These are some of the businesses. Please pull in, essentially. The Wawa is proposing 2 signs, that's 2 above what is permitted. This is one thing we're working through possibly with either a PD amendment for Highland Park as they're dealing with signage, and also how other PDs are designed that include a commercial component that needs signage and what that looks like. Just having a more informed conversation at the beginning of the process instead of dealing with variances towards the end. So the sign that's on the State Road 26 right away is proposed at 23 feet and 3 inches. The code permits a sign that is 8 feet for non-residential signs, just to give you a perspective of the amount of variance that's being required there. We did not look at other monument signs for gas stations along State Road 26, Marathon, and Circle K. But they do have pretty tall monument signs, either on a monopole or on a bipole in front of the businesses. So it would not be out of character with the existing fuel pricing monument signs that exist in the city today. It's just not consistent with the code as it's written. The sign in the back is an additional sign. When we reviewed the criteria justification, we concluded that 1 sign would be the minimum variance necessary. They believe 2 monument signs are necessary for the property. They'll come and present their case on that. That rear sign is a little over 8 feet tall. It's de minimis in nature, the number of inches, but 8 feet, which meets the code as far as height. Total, they're asking for 230 square feet of sign area. The code as it's written today permits, if we were to allow both signs, and both those signs were double-sided signs, up to 96 square feet. So a drastically reduced amount of signage. just speaking as a normal person, resident or road user, not as a planner for the city, these signs don't seem unusual to me. It's just the nature of the code and it not being able to foresee things such as this potentially. I'll leave that for the board to determine. Here's the subject property. Part of the argument for the rear sign on the service road is that because of the FDOT changes to the intersection improvements, drivers are now having to make a left in from all the way to the east side of the property, meaning they'll have to use that service road, which was originally intended to be a service road, as an access for westbound traffic. These are the variance criteria that staff utilizes and the board utilizes when evaluating requests such as this. And we already talked through all these other variances that are being added here. Again, staff's only provided an opinion on the number of signs, but not on the height and the copy area. We leave that for the board to determine and for the applicant to present their case. That completes my presentation. I'm going to turn it over to the Solid Rock folks. I just want to let you know, Thomas Signs, who represents Wawa nationally, or at least regionally, is also here to present on it and very familiar with this topic and should be able to give you a comprehensive presentation.
Perfect. If the applicant can come forward, introduce themselves, and we'll we have your presentation queued up. You know how to operate that? Make
I
sure you
do.
turn it on and off, or make sure it's
There was a
synced.
question about a laser pointer last time. You have to.
Yeah, the laser doesn't work on
Okay.
here.
Well, I'll just.
I
point
can
it
be
out.
your laser pointer if you
Very
need.
good, very good. Good evening, members of the commission, Mr. Mayor. My name is Anthony Kachuk with the Solid Rock Property Group. I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. John Paul, city staff, thank you all for all the hard work that's gone into this matter. To start, a quick overview of the project. Wawa occupies a 2.27 acre site within the Highland Park PD, part of the planned commercial component of the development. As a reminder, the Highland Park PD only allows one 10-foot tall freestanding sign for all 13 commercial uses within the district. Our request tonight, given the signage limitation on the PD, we're requesting a variance to allow two freestanding signs on the Wawa property of a certain height and a certain square foot. Because of the unique nature of fuel pricing and the requirements under Florida Administrative Code, this variance is necessary to ensure compliance and transparency. We are proposing one 23-foot tall sign fronting State Road 26, shown on the slide as sign A, and one 8-foot tall sign along the reverse frontage road, shown as sign B. Here's an example of the two proposed signs with their height and total square footage. Both are high-quality designs that use materials and colors consistent with Wawa's architecture and the corridor's design standards. The State Road 26 sign is proposed at 23 feet tall, ensuring visibility for motorists at the posted highway speed. The sign along the reverse frontage road is proposed at 8 foot tall, giving motorists entering from that direction a clear view of fuel pricing as they approach the site. Like I said, both use high-quality materials and fit with the overall architectural scheme of the Wawa development. Before I go into the variance criteria, I'd like to highlight one other relevant section of Florida statutes. Section 553.79 reads that a political subdivision of this state may not adopt or enforce any ordinance or impose any building permit or other development order requirement that imposes any requirement on the design, construction, or location of signage advertising the retail price of gasoline, which prevents the signage from being clearly visible and legible to drivers of approaching motor vehicles. Now I'd like to walk through the variance criteria and explain how our application meets each one. Number one, special conditions exist. The site is uniquely constrained by FDOT's access design, which forces significant ingress and egress to the reverse frontage road at the rear of the property. Unlike other gas stations in the city, Wawa does not have direct State Road 26 visibility from all entry points. Florida law requires fuel pricing to be clearly legible to motorists traveling at the design speed, and meeting that standard necessitates the proposed placement and size of both signs to ensure safe, clear visibility of fuel pricing. Criteria number two, conditions not caused by the applicant. These limitations are not the result of design choices by the applicant. We worked with FDOT and tried to get a different intersection here, but ultimately this configuration was mandated. Criteria number three, no special privilege. Granting this variance would not create any special advantage. Like John Paul said, other fuel retailers along State Road 26 have similar signage as we are requesting, visible from all directions of travel. This request simply allows Wawa to operate on an equal footing and meet the same visibility standards and allow their customers to have full transparency of fuel pricing. Criteria number four, avoiding undue hardship. Strict interpretation of the code and the PD would deprive Wawa of reasonable use of the property and hinder compliance with state requirements. Without this variance, fuel prices could not be displayed legibly, thereby creating confusion and potential safety concerns for motorists. Criteria number five, minimum necessary relief. These signs are the minimum size necessary to meet Florida's legibility and safety requirements for the posted speeds on State Road 26, especially given the curve in the roadway. The State Road 26 sign ensures motorists can clearly see fuel pricing as they approach, and the monument sign on the reverse frontage road is needed for customers entering from the rear. Finally, criteria number six. The signs are consistent with the spirit and intent of the city's land development regulations. They use quality materials, architectural consistency, and enhanced safety by providing motorists clear and timely information. Finally, I'd like to outline the reasoning behind our request for two signs instead of one, and why it is necessary to comply with state law. As you may recall from our site plan approval hearing before this board, FDOT finalized a modified through-cut design for this intersection. Motorists traveling westbound on State Road 26 will not be able to make a left in at the main entrance. Instead, they will be routed to the far eastern boundary of the site and will have to enter Wawa from the rear via the reverse frontage road. Motorists making this left movement will not have clear visibility of the sign on State Road 26. The proposed sign location is more than 1,200 feet from the left turn in, and the site sits on a curved portion of State Road 26 and will be screened by future landscaping and adjacent tenants. Because of the design, a substantial portion of Wawa's customers will enter from the rear, many without passing the State Road 26 sign. Unlike retail or restaurant users, fuel customers rely on real up-to-date pricing at the point of entry. Gas prices fluctuate daily, and customers deserve full transparency as they access the site. For context, nearby fuel stations each have a single sign. But in both cases, those signs are visible from all entry points. Circle K sign is visible from both 41 and State Road 26. Marathon sign is clearly visible from both access points on State Road 26. Wawa's customers should be afforded the same visibility and transparency regardless of which entrance they use. The second sign will not be injurious to neighboring property owners or residents. We are proposing an 8-foot monument sign that will be well buffered from the residential portion of the development by multiple layers of separation. The reverse frontage road, a 5-acre retention pond, and substantial landscaping. These features ensure that the sign will be both appropriately scaled and shielded.
In closing, this project aligns fully with Newberry's goals for high-quality, safe, and visually appealing development. Our request does not seek to set a precedent for signage in the city. It is simply a practical response to FDOT's redesign, which directs motorists to enter from the frontage road rather than the main entrance. We respectfully ask for your approval of the variance consistent with our application. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm happy to answer any questions. We also have Wawa sign vendor here this evening who can address technical details or respond to any sign-specific inquiries. Thank you. Okay, great.
Yeah, our motion was just to leave it in the hands of the board to approve with conditions, continue or deny the application. The only thing we do ask is that when making the motion that sign area and height are added to the motion to approve. Our materials only consider the number of signs.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. City Manager.
Part of the P&Z's recommendation was to send it to you guys contingent on a conversation that happened with GrowMax. So I just want to give you an update on the conversation that happened with GrowMax so that we make sure that we check that box. So I did reach out to GrowMax. I just want to reiterate the point that GrowMax is the developer. They asked for the monument sign. They asked for the 10-foot sign. They got exactly what they asked for. Our staff's main goal is that we don't come back and have to do this 13 more times with 13 other businesses that want to do something outside of the PD. I am happy to report that I believe that we have got a PD amendment back on track. I've talked to them. I've talked to NV5. I believe that we will have an overall solution to the PD. That means that we won't have to do this. We'll bring that PD amendment to you. You'll vote on that PD amendment, and then staff can make sure that the other 13 adhere to that. So staff is not recommending that we hold up Wawa. We can handle Wawa. We can do a PD amendment for the other remaining lots. So I want to read that into the record, just to let you know those conversations have happened and those conversations have been successful.
Great, thank you. Is there any public comment on the issue before us? Okay, Mr. Applicant, did you have anything you wanted to cross-examine from staff?
No, that was it. Thank
Do
you.
you think you did a good job?
I hope so.
Staff, do you have anything to cross-examine of the applicant? Okay. All right, so we can entertain comments, questions at this point. Go ahead. Board Member Farnsworth.
Farnsworth. Couple of questions. What is the height of the signs in Alachua?
I believe it's 12 foot.
The one that's in front?
On the main road.
Okay. And there's no access onto 441 from there other than going out onto the side road?
Correct. A little bit, I believe it's to the west, there's a access point, but you do have to go through other businesses.
Right, okay. I mean, I have no problem with the two signs, except I think 23 feet seems a little excessive. I mean, it seems like the one in Alachua that's on 441 is very visible. I don't know why that would be so much different here in Newberry.
Yeah, because of the curve and the design speed on State Road 26 is a bit higher than the design speed on 441.
I don't know about the speed. Okay. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
Just think about it. I'll just, my comment, I don't know if I got more of a question. Well, I do have a question, but the 8 foot behind it, I don't see a problem with it whatsoever. On the front, I know we're coming up with a PD to do individual businesses. But GrowMax eliminated the one sign or not?
That's the conversation. My suggestion is to eliminate. They have not designated land.
How tall was that one?
That was 10 foot.
10.
So but they failed to designate property for that to go on. And now we have the issue of if we didn't set aside the property, and they don't have a mechanism to pay for the construction or the long-term maintenance of that sign. So the plan that we had, the broad strokes of the plan that they are going to work on for the PD amendment is that there's 14 lots. Each 2 lots get one sign, one business on one side, one business on the other side. We'll make sure that they are architecturally of the same style. They're designed nice, but that way it's very clear which business is responsible for maintaining the side. They can work out their own, constructing it. So that's kind of the broad strokes of the concept.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly
one of
how
the
we ever
things-
thought we were going to get 14 businesses on one 10-foot sign.
I mean, I travel
It's
a
what
lot.
they asked for. It's what they
Yeah,
asked for.
yeah. These Wawa signs here look to be just about like they do everywhere. Is that correct? They do them literally across the board, everyone. The height may differ. You said they're 12 feet in Alachua?
12 foot in Alachua, yes, sir.
What's the design in Alachua? Where's the Wawa? Do we have the slide for the
Backwards.
picture?
Was it on yours or his presentation?
Just let me ask a question real quick. I want to, right there.
There we go.
So the 23, and that's 3 something, if we were even in the 20-foot range, can the Wawa be changed to down? Is it ever changed somewhere else? If theirs is 12 foot, how do they do it?
No, this setup is pretty consistent with Wawa's national branding.
Sir, can you introduce yourself for the camera?
Sorry, my name is Alvin Ramos. I
Nope.
represent Thomas Sign and Awning. We're the sign vendor.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of Wawa.
So a 12-foot sign can't be the same as this if it's national?
No. It's a pretty standard. They're
That one is standard. My question is, is there a room for any of us to negotiate? I know it's a business, I know they're national, they're big, they're the king on the block. Can they bring this down any and put the Wawa, the gas prices have to be there by law. Can we bring the Wawa down any to lower the sign any? Any kind of design that helps?
Well, there are always options in the sense of kind of height in Wawa in the sense of their consistency of branding in their signage.
This is what
their
they get.
Wawa is on the top all the time. So to take that.
Is there a standard from the ground to where we see our first number by state law?
Well, I guess it is dependent on the municipality.
Okay.
And the requirements of the LDC, yes.
Well, I'm asking,
But
is there a requirement by the gas law that says how far this has to be able to see? I know you don't want it on the ground, you want to see it from the, turning the curve and seeing this. Could you lower this any to give us a little bit of room here? Is this,
What's the
what's
minimum?
the minimum you
I think
gotta
we could
have?
lower the sign a little bit, and still keep the Wawa logo
Yeah,
up
yeah, you
top.
wanna
and-
kinda keep
yeah,
it
yeah,
where
keep
you-
the consistency, but, you know,
But trying to get a little bit down for everything being so high on the road.
I think that's something Wawa would consider, definitely.
I mean, I don't wanna kick you out of town.
Yeah.
I don't want you to leave because of sign ordinance.
Right.
But, I mean, is there room that one's 12, this is 23, is there, are they nationally owned or are these franchise owned?
They're nationally owned, they're corporate
Okay.
owned.
They got a 12-foot one there, we got a 23 here. What could it look like?
We
You know-
do have an 18-foot plan.
You okay?
That shows,
Something
am
that,
I allowed to pass these out to the? Sure.
could we look at those and
Yeah,
see
this is a
that?
copy of the 18-foot plan. So while I'm passing them out, what it does basically is it reduces the sign, takes away the open space.
The open space, you
Yeah.
get rid of some of that and you drop it.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This sign is 18.
Yeah.
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 I believe it's more consistent with that Alachua sign that you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it's identical to the last.
Well, it's still pretty good size though. I mean, that's still good size. Oh, is it? I ain't seen it. Okay. Do y'all still get what we need in the speed? Let me ask.
All right, let's just hold on just a second while we
Just like
get
that.
these,
We'll
get these understood. Let's get, okay, so your question?
So this really helps all of us really, I think. Do y'all still get your mileage, your miles per hour you're talking about on the state road? Is this consistently high enough to give y'all where we can still see Wawa at the corner? You're saying 18 feet, right?
Yeah.
Still looks pretty large.
Chris Logan, Solid Rock Property Group. I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to address your comment. A lot of times when they lift the elevated, as you saw in the 23-foot design, a lot of that's for conflict with landscaping, trees, and things like that of that nature. So
Okay.
if we are consistent with the landscape plan that can stay low enough and we have visibility to the pricing sign, the 18-foot sign would work, if that answers your question.
Oh, yeah, it does. I mean,
I think.
I haven't seen a landscape plan to, now that you say that, to see if it hurts the sign. I don't know.
Yeah, we can't make them lower the sign and then still.
No.
Still have the landscape up.
No, I got it.
That covers the bottom of the numbers at least.
Where's the, do we
My
have a
answer to
plan?
we do have a landscape plan. The commission's seen it. It's just been about 2 years ago
Yeah,
at
it's
this
been
point in
forever.
time. But I would say to that point, same thing about whether they were gonna have the big monument sign for Gromax. Wawa is here and ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Let them build what you guys are comfortable with them building, and then we'll plant the landscaping around it. If we can't come to an agreement and they want to move forward with the monument sign, we'll build the monument sign somewhere that doesn't block these signs.
I
But we
think-
don't want to
I
hold
mean,
up the
I'm good
person
with
ready to
this.
go
This is a
now.
nice little,
I'm good with either one of them.
yeah, it's
I mean,
definitely.
It's commercial.
It's commercial, and that's what we want.
Okay, any other questions for any of the participants? Okay.
Yeah.
Tony, sorry.
Yes, I do. All right, so, I'm not really sold on the, you can't see it because it's on a curve. I drive it every day. I'm not buying that. I'm not being to be rude or anything, and everybody's actually not really looking at a sign as opposed to the blue dot, which is Google, right? So everybody that knows Wawa, they're not gonna not necessarily look for a sign. They're gonna put it in their phone, and then that phone's gonna direct them to your phenomenal store, which is truthful. So, I mean, I think 20 feet is way too high. That's just me. You need 3, first of all. So, I mean, my thoughts are my thoughts. 18, in my opinion, is still too high for me. I'll be honest with you. I saw the sign in Alachua. It's beautiful. I don't see why we can't replicate that. I think that would be visible. I think you can see it on every angle. Now, granted, I do agree with you when you said, when you come into the back side, because you can only take a left at that, you can't take a left to come in. I do agree with you on that. Once again, everybody follows the blue dot. I guarantee you over 50% of the people that drive through Newberry know you're already there. And if they're in the area or the vicinity, they're gonna put it in their phone and they're gonna find out where you're at. I'm more on the side of the whatever, however height that is in Alachua, if we can get, because I mean, and like the Circle K, I agree with you. I was in the commission at the time. At the bottom of that sign, it has a logo. I think it has Little Caesar, so that I think they did it more of like as a combined sign. The marathon sign, I don't know. I wouldn't have. That's just me. I wasn't here at the time when they did that. But I mean, we have an ordinance for signs, and I think we need to stick to it as close as possible. That's just my opinion.
Well, that ain't far off.
23 is real high, and I think that 18 is a little high. I think that honestly, the sign that's in Alachua for me would be more than enough. And when it comes to the height,
It's hard to see here. It's gonna be big.
I like the 18, I'm going with 18, that's where I'm at. Here's Alachua.
Mr. Okay, if there's no other comments or questions, Mr. Attorney, would you advise the decision-making body as to the applicable law and factual findings that must be made to approve or deny the application, sir?
Your decision has to be made on the substantial and competent evidence presented before you.
If there's no other deliberations, is somebody prepared to make a motion at this time? Commissioner Coleman? Board member Coleman?
Yeah, I'm a board member now.
Yes, sir.
Better respect that. I make a motion that, we go with, sign A at 18 foot. And I guess sign B is 8'4" for sign B.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Mr. Clark on the second. No further discussion. All those in favor, let's do a roll call. Commissioner Coleman?
Aye.
Commissioner Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Farnsworth?
Aye.
Mr.
No.
Mouton? No. Motion passes 3-1. Oh, that's 3-1.
You like that? That was pretty good.
Okay, that disposes of all the agenda items that we have for this Board of Adjustment meeting. Are there any topics from the members of the board that they would like to discuss and put forward? Seeing none, the meeting is
Adjourned. Congrats, guys.
Y'all glad we were 18, right? You went high with 23. So, but we